for so long, I'm finally enjoying all my food. Everybody who told me I couldn't, look how I do it. All it took was dedication, got locked to stay committed. Now every time I step out, they agree with a whole committee. Go. Told my mama, give me 1 second, I'm on road. All around the globe, get that bag back tenfold. Make sure that my fam good, break bread with my bros. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. I'm here rolling with skate money. Yeah, I got perfect time. Everybody who hated on me, I kill them all with kind. Straight out that mud with it, diamond out that rough. Everything that came with it, went through it on hush. Been grinding for so long, I'm finally enjoying all my food. Everybody who told me I couldn't, look how I do it. All it took was dedication, got locked to stay committed. Now every time I step out, they agree with a whole committee. Go. Told my mama, give me 1 second, I'm on road. All around the globe, get that bag back tenfold. Make sure that my fam good, break bread with my bros. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. I'm here rolling with skate money. Yeah, I got perfect time. Everybody who hated on me, I kill them all with kind. Straight out that mud with it, diamond out that rough. Everything that came with it, went through it on hush. Been grinding for so long, I'm finally enjoying all my food. Everybody who told me I couldn't, look how I do it. All it took was dedication, got locked to stay committed. Now every time I step out, they agree with a whole committee. Go. Told my mama, give me 1 second, I'm on road. All around the globe, get that bag back tenfold. Make sure that my fam good, break bread with my bros. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. I'm here rolling with skate money. Yeah, I got perfect time. Everybody who hated on me, I kill them all with kind. Straight out that mud with it, diamond out that rough. Everything that came with it, went through it on hush. Been grinding for so long, I'm finally enjoying all my food. Everybody who told me I couldn't, look how I do it. All it took was dedication, got locked to stay committed. Now every time I step out, they agree with a whole committee. Go. Told my mama, give me 1 second, I'm on road. All around the globe, get that bag back tenfold. Make sure that my fam good, break bread with my bros. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. I'm here rolling with skate money. Yeah, I got perfect time. Everybody who hated on me, I kill them all with kind. Straight out that mud with it, diamond out that rough. Everything that came with it, went through it on hush. Been grinding for so long, I'm finally enjoying all my food. Everybody who told me I couldn't, look how I do it. All it took was dedication, got locked to stay committed. Now every time I step out, they agree with a whole committee. Go. Told my mama, give me 1 second, I'm on road. All around the globe, get that bag back tenfold. Make sure that my fam good, break bread with my bros. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. I'm here rolling with skate money. Yeah, I got perfect time. Everybody who hated on me, I kill them all with kind. Straight out that mud with it, diamond out that rough. Everything that came with it, went through it on hush. Been grinding for so long, I'm finally enjoying all my food. Everybody who told me I couldn't, look how I do it. All it took was dedication, got locked to stay committed. Now every time I step out, they agree with a whole committee. Told my mama, give me 1 second, I'm on roll. All around the globe, get that bag back tenfold. Make sure that my fam good, break bread with my bros. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. I'm here rolling with skate money. Yeah, I got perfect time. Everybody who hated on me, I kill them all with kind. Straight out that mud with it, diamond out that rough. Everything that came with it, went through it on hush. Been grinding for so long, I'm finally enjoying all my food. Everybody who told me I couldn't, look how I do it. All it took was dedication, got locked to stay committed. Now every time I step out, they agree with a whole committee. Go. Told my mama, give me 1 second, I'm on roll. All around the globe, get that bag back tenfold. Make sure that my fam good, break bread with my bros. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. I'm here rolling with skate money. Yeah, I got perfect time. Everybody who hated on me, I kill them all with kind. Straight out that mud with it, diamond out that rough. Everything that came with it, went through it on hush. Been grinding for so long, I'm finally enjoying all my food. Everybody who told me I couldn't, look how I do it. All it took was dedication, got locked to stay committed. Now every time I step out, they agree with a whole committee. Go. Told my mama, give me 1 second, I'm on roll. All around the globe, get that bag back tenfold. Make sure that my fam good, break bread with my bros. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. I'm here rolling with skate money. Yeah, I got perfect time. Everybody who hated on me, I kill them all with kind. Straight out that mud with it, diamond out that rough. Everything that came with it, went through it on hush. Been grinding for so long, I'm finally enjoying all my food. Everybody who told me I couldn't, look how I do it. All it took was dedication, got locked to stay committed. Now every time I step out, they agree with a whole committee. Go. Told my mama, give me 1 second, I'm on roll. All around the globe, get that bag back tenfold. Make sure that my fam good, break bread with my bros. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. I'm here rolling with skate money. Yeah, I got perfect time. Everybody who hated on me, I kill them all with kind. Straight out that mud with it, diamond out that rough. Everything that came with it, went through it on hush. Been grinding for so long, I'm finally enjoying all my food. Everybody who told me I couldn't, look how I do it. All it took was dedication, got locked to stay committed. Now every time I step out, they agree with a whole committee. Go. Told my mama, give me 1 second, I'm on roll. All around the globe, get that bag back tenfold. Make sure that my fam good, break bread with my bros. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. I'm here rolling with skate money. Yeah, I got perfect time. Everybody who hated on me, I kill them all with kind. Straight out that mud with it, diamond out that rough. Everything that came with it, went through it on hush. Been grinding for so long, I'm finally enjoying all my food. Everybody who told me I couldn't, look how.
Yo, 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 what's good, what's good? We're back. Late night stream. Got a bunch of things going. Thank you for tapping into Timiano live. Gonna be reacting to some shit. There's a bunch of shit going on. Let me see if this light. This should be annoying. All right, yep, we good. We good, just like this. All right. Here we are. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. We are back. Couple of days off. I was chilling. How you guys doing, chat, man? What's going on? How y'all doing? A bunch of stuff going on in the world. So first, yeah, let's check out. Let's see what MYRON's saying here. We're back. We got some new followers in here. Shout out to the Big Bear 2922. Thank you. MEO 21. Sorry, MEO 23. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you. That's off the Twitch or Kick chat. Twitch or Kick chat. Shout out to y'all. Thank you. Appreciate you. Let me see something. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can pull up the Kick chat, because last time I was trying to see the Kick chat, it was kind of messed up. I'm tired of logging into Kick, man. Boom, we in here. All right, so now I can see you. Now I can see the Kick chat. I got the Kick chat going. All right, let's get into this. Let's get into this video, man. There's so much stuff going on. This is out of control. No. Okay. This here. Boom. All right, I got the Kick chat up. I don't know how many y'all really be on Kick, but whatever. People be going in and out, really. All right, let's see how this goes with MYRON.
Now things have changed. Israel's attack has effectively killed the Gaza ceasefire talks, stripped US security guarantees of value, and demonstrated that safe havens can no longer be taken for granted.
The problem here is that the whole purpose of aligning with the United States and Israel is security. That is why you align with these people in the first place. So for the Israelis to attack them and defeat the purpose as to why they're selling out in the first place is incredibly counterproductive and puts them in a very weird spot, because now it's like you're selling out for what?
Israel has crossed a new threshold. For the first time, its air force struck inside Qatar, targeting Hamas's political leadership in the heart of Doha.
Did y'all see this? This was wild. Like, I think Trump or someone, I think it was Trump, had set up like peace treaty talks with the Hamas leader, and Israel sent bombs into Qatar. It's kind of wild. I mean, who would have thought a World Cup site from, what was the last one? In Qatar, no? It would be bombed.
The operation, carried out jointly by the IDF and the Internal Security Agency, Shin Bet, was aimed at senior...
Shin Bet is their FBI equivalent shot. Mossad is their external security, right? And intelligence apparatus, just like our CIA. And Shin Bet is their FBI.
Negotiators Khalil Al-Haya and Khaled Meshal, who were reportedly reviewing the latest US ceasefire proposal. Both men survived, however.
And Trump gave them 24 hours to review it, which many believe was a ruse to get them in a position where they're together so they can be assassinated. This isn't the first time they've done this.
The strike instead claimed the lives of at least 5 mid-ranking Hamas officials, and with them, possibly the last serious...
Yeah, that's definitely like a thing that people are saying, that that Trump helped them set them up. Like, oh yeah, meet him here, go there. Like, Trump's like, they ain't gonna do nothing. Have them set up a peace meeting there, and then they're gonna bomb their asses there.
Channel for ceasefire negotiations in Gaza. For years, Qatar has been at the center of mediation. It's where deals were struck, hostages released, and ceasefire plans drafted. It's also
Yeah, Qatar acts as like a middleman between hostile countries and the West, especially Israel and the United States.
where the United States maintains Al Udeid, the largest airbase in the Middle East, home to thousands of American troops. This balancing act made Qatar indispensable, but now things have changed. Israel's attack has effectively killed the Gaza ceasefire talks, stripped US security guarantees of value, and demonstrated that safe havens can no longer...
Now, this is really important for you guys to understand. So now the peace negotiations are off the table, right? So basically, since the negotiations are off the table, the bombing is continuing, right? Which is to the Israelis' favor. Then it's made it where, does the country feel like it's protected in other Gulf states? No. Right? Israel bombing them has basically removed the security parameter that they thought that they had. Right? So this bombing has done way more than just like target these Hamas guys and, fail. It had other diplomatic negative ramifications.
longer be taken for granted. The emirate, in the crossfire of playing both sides, has become collateral.
And this is really disturbing because the thing you guys got to understand about the Gulf states, right? With places like, Qatar, UAE, Saudi Arabia, their people don't like the Israelis and their people don't like the West, okay? The people, right, the majority Muslim Arab population that live in these countries, they do not like Israel and they don't like the West because of what they've been doing when it comes to supporting the Israelis with occupation of Palestine, right? However, the monarchs understand that if you don't play nice with Israel and the United States, one of two things is going to happen. They're either going to run a coup and take you out of power, or you're going to have to be bribed. So they said, you know what? We might as well at least cooperate with these guys and still be able to run our countries rather than say, no, we oppose you guys and then eventually get taken out. And they've seen many dictators have this fate. Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein, right? Omar Bashir down in Sudan, civil war there, right? Between KIMMEL and the other guy, right? Literally in a civil war between the two, different factions, a paramilitary group and the actual army of Sudan, right? So Lebanon, what's going on with them? Where they kill Hassan Nasrallah, but they still refuse to disarm Hezbollah. So
that's the thing. They're allowed to do whatever they want to do.
So the Gulf states are keenly aware of the fact that if you don't play nice with the West, it could lead to problems. But a lot of the times their people look at them like, you guys sold out. So the problem here is that the
Honestly,
whole purpose
they did sell out. They did sell out.
Aligning with the United States and Israel is security. Okay? That is why you align with these people in the first place. So for the Israelis to attack them and defeat the purpose as to why they're selling out in the first place is incredibly counterproductive and puts them in a very weird spot. Because now it's like you're selling out for what? So this has put them in a very strange and awkward position diplomatically.
Interestingly, the Hamas meeting itself was initiated by Trump, who urged the group to accept terms for ending the conflict.
Yes, he gave them 24 hours. And this is not the first time that the United States and Israel have used diplomacy, right, feigned diplomacy, to conduct an attack. You guys remember? And shout out to my guy, Cub Cube, for joining in. If you guys remember, right, the Israelis and the United States feigned diplomacy with Iran. They had a meeting set up in Qatar on like a weekend, like Saturday. Steve Witkoff was supposed to go meet the Iranians in Qatar. What happened? The Israelis started bombing Iran with Operation Rising Lion. They activated Mossad assets. They took out air defense. They were behind enemy lines. They bombed all their nuclear facilities. They killed several generals, and they also killed several scientists, nuclear scientists, all in one day, right? It was literally probably the worst attack Iran's ever had in their history.
Bro, they need a freaking, like a hit list of like Israel's hit list over the last 750 days. It'd be wild. Just literally like a hit list. Everything that they bombed, killed, just like a whole hit list. Like an album rollout of everything that they've done. I think people would be very surprised. It's kind of OD. The world's just getting crazier, though.
It was like a Pearl Harbor event because it all happened in one shot. The Israelis did a fantastic job of attacking the Iranians in one hard blitz. And that's how the Israelis come. Mossad assets activate. The Mossad assets used drones that they assembled in country. So that means that they had been in Iran for months, staging and preparing for this attack. Once they got activated, they destroyed Iran's many air defense systems, jammed radars. While this was happening, the Israeli Air Force flew into Iran utilizing Syrian and Azerbaijan airspace and shot missiles into Iran. These missiles took out the remaining air defense as well as precision strikes that killed generals in their apartments as they were having dinner and killed scientists, nuclear scientists. And the Air Force was able to have air dominance for several days because these Mossad assets literally crippled their air defense in country. And they were doing this all in tandem with each other, right? Really smart and powerful operation. Got to give credit where it's due.
No, but the thing is that, yeah, of course their operation is smart and it works when the other fucking country thinks they're coming to fucking have a discussion, right? That's how they operate. Like, if they're meeting Qatar, who the fuck thinks Qatar is going to get bombed? Like, what the fuck? No one thought Qatar is going to get bombed.
It was a big success. But, as you guys know, 18 hours later,
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, tell if this is what you get for all your evil deeds. Boom, boom, boom.
and them missiles started raining down. Within 24 hours, they started hitting back Tel Aviv and Haifa, right? And the war lasted for almost 2 weeks. And as the days progressed, it became harder and harder for Israel to defend itself because Israel relies heavily upon its air defense system. The David Sling, Iron Dome, the Arrow, and the THAAD that we gave them. And on top of that, other countries were also assisting with shooting down the missiles. But that's why Trump bombed Fordo to effectively end the conflict, because the Israelis could not continue the air defense against Iran's enormous ballistic missile program. But that just gives you guys a quick little recap of that.
The timing has fueled allegations that the offer was never meant as a genuine step towards negotiation, but rather as a way to...
But yeah, that's exactly...
Yeah, but the crazy part is Trump obviously roped fucking Hamas or whoever is their people that negotiate for them. They roped them and into Qatar into having peace treaties, giving the drop to Israel. And then there you go. You got a couple guys, right?
Fatality.
And that's it. How are you bombing into? Since when have we seen a World Cup? When's the last time we seen a World Cup destination before another World Cup being bombed? When's the last time we've seen a World Cup nation before the next World Cup being bombed? Come on, man.
Example of where the U.S.
Y'all know who it is. Y'all know why they're allowed to do it. You know, that's
fake diplomacy
is what it is.
And use it to sneak attack.
100% fake.
Senior Hamas officials into
Gotcha.
one place and eliminate them on the spot. Hamas has since accused the United States of being an accomplice in the Doha attack. There has been little coverage of this angle, though. Of the 97 media outlets that reported on...
Why is it called Operation Rising Lion? Because they were hoping that the Iranian people would rise up and overthrow their government, and it backfired. It failed.
Nearly
Good question. But that's why they call it Operation Rising Lion.
half were right-leaning. Such imbalance is dangerous. It risks distorting public perception. To stay on top of things, I use...
Okay.
Qatar now holds the unusual distinction of being bombed by both Iran and Israel within just a few months. For reference, on June 23rd, Iran targeted Al Udeid air base.
And this was after Trump bombed Fordo. So that's how Iran responded, was by bombing America's military bases there. But they telegraphed it, and the United States was able to shoot down the missiles and everything else like that. It was a symbolic gesture saying, look, we can defend ourselves, but we're not going to escalate.
Base.
Why would America need to show Iran we can defend itself? It doesn't make any sense. Everyone knows that America's the #1 world power. We don't need to show Iran anything. Iran needs to show their other partners that follow the same book that they're down to they're down to defend the book.
In retaliation for a US strike on its nuclear facilities. However,
but since the book of the Anglo-Saxon world has been I don't want to say taken down, but stripped down, right? It's been stripped. Not stripped of its values, but stripped of its power in the Western world, right? Right? It's been stripped of its power in the Western world. We don't feel the same to defend the book of the Western nations. They're not out defending their book. But in the Middle East, they have a book that they're still very serious about. And including Israel and Judaism. They're very serious about their book. Way more serious than the US, England, Australia. They're not as serious on their book. They're not. Because you're not gonna have your famous people pushing whatever, showing ass and showing tits. Right? Especially in front of political figures. You literally had people running for president on podcasts where they actively talk about sucking dicks. That's not going to happen in that world. As it shouldn't. Because there's a certain respect. But once you tear the books down, and you don't create your new ones, you just destroy them down. Now you're just doing whatever you're doing. It's a free-for-all now, right?
However, Tehran had telegraphed the attack in advance, giving Qatar and the United States time to prepare and minimize damage or casualties.
And that's what's called the symbolic strike, guys. So if they hit you, right, but you don't necessarily want to escalate to the point where it's a full-on war, you let them know that you're going to retaliate, you telegraph it, let them prepare their defenses, and it's a way for you to attack them back without escalating and saving face. Military strategy. Iran does this all the time, as many other countries do.
This time, with the Israeli strike, the signals were far less clear. According to the White House, US forces observed Israeli jets heading toward the Gulf, and Washington was only officially informed after the operation was already underway. The Trump administration claims it then relayed a warning to Doha, but Qatari officials insist no such message was received, or at least not in.
And this is where things get confusing because no one really knows who knew what at what time. Everybody's exercising a bit of plausible deniability, as we know that's common in the government.
In time, these conflicting accounts raise more questions than answers. The official story makes little sense. To reach Doha, the Israeli F-35s would have had to cross Jordanian airspace, then Saudi airspace, before finally launching long-range over-the-horizon missiles from a safe distance. That's roughly 1,700 kilometers one way, or 3,400 kilometers for the whole round trip. Even with long-range missiles, the distance would have been too great for the jets to bridge on their own. Moreover, because this was a stealth mission, the F-35s would not have employed external fuel tanks, which would have limited their operational range to about 2,100 kilometers. This estimate doesn't even account for the extra fuel burned in aerial maneuvers or the payload the aircraft would be carrying. All of this means that at some point on the return flight, the Israeli jets must have been refueled mid-air, most likely by tankers operated by US Central Command.
So that creates even more questions.
Incidentally, at the very time of the Israeli strike, a British Voyager tanker took off from Qatar, circled in the skies for several hours.
So this also raised a lot of speculation. So the Brits and America were involved.
And then returned to base. This has led to speculation that Britain had refueled the Israeli jets. The problem, however, is technical. The Voyager tanker relies on a probe and drogue system, in which a cone at the end of a hose connects to the receiving aircraft. The Israeli F-35A, by contrast, requires a flying boom system, which is a rigid arm extending from the tanker. The two systems are not compatible, making it highly unlikely that the British tanker was involved. Meanwhile, according to the Wall Street Journal, the Israeli jets avoided Arab airspace altogether by flying over the Red Sea on the opposite side of the Arabian Peninsula.
Now, let me explain this real quick, guys. Israel using Arab airspace from Saudi Arabia or Jordan allies to attack Qatar is considered a big problem and is looked at as damn near betrayal. So this is why airspace is so important to figure out where it happened. Like, for example, when the Israelis attacked Iran, there's heavy speculation that they used Azerbaijan airspace. The reason why that's a problem is because Azerbaijan is an ally of Iran. So using an ally's airspace to attack them is nuts from a diplomacy perspective. So there's all these delicate diplomatic circumstances that you need to account for when you conduct these operations.
From Qatar. From there, they reportedly launched air-launched ballistic missiles that arced into low Earth orbit before striking Doha. However, even in this setting, the Israeli missiles would have been detected by America's space-based infrared sensors. And also, the distance would still have been too great for the jets to complete without support. Case in point, the Israeli operation, whether through Saudi airspace or the Red Sea, must have been picked up by the United States and even approved by it. Even stranger is the silence of Qatar's air defenses. Doha possesses some of the most advanced systems money can buy, including
They buy their weapons from us.
Patriot, THAAD, NASAMS, and Skynex batteries, along with a fleet of F-15Es, Rafales, and Eurofighters. These assets should have detected incoming aircraft and missiles long before they reached the capital, yet none were activated. The absence of any response suggests that the Qatari leadership, like the Trump administration, may have been aware of the operation from the outset and, whether by pressure or circumstance, had little choice but to let it proceed. There is, however, no way to verify any of this. We can only speculate based on the information currently available. Publicly, Qatar's Ministry of Foreign Affairs condemned the Israeli strike as a violation of the country's sovereignty, a position that was echoed by several other Gulf Arab states. Even if the strike missed its intended targets, it delivered a clear message. When Israel perceives a threat to its security, it shows little regard for red lines or diplomatic fallout and places.
And that defeats the purpose and has red-pilled a lot of the Arab world. Okay? Because it's very obvious, guys, now that, and I've told you guys this before, look, I don't want to say I'm glad that they bombed the Qataris, but I've been telling you guys for months that the Israelis are a cowboy rogue state that do whatever they want, whenever they want, and no one can tell them shit. Okay? Bombing an American ally puts us in a precarious situation, puts Qatar in a weird situation, and hurts our relationship with them. But the Israelis don't give a about any of this. And this is the country that we give the most aid to, by the way.
Once considered.
Marco Rubio's over there right now as we speak, chat, trying to figure out how to clean up the mess. Imagine you got a badass little kid, right? Goes to school, starts fights, and instead of you bringing him home and disciplining him, you go meet with him and figure out how you're going to clean up the problems that they created at school. Bruh. That is literally the American-Israeli relationship. They do what they want, spoiled little brat, and we got to clean up their mess, bro.
Considered safe havens can no longer be taken for granted.
This is a big deal, chat. Very big deal. And I think this has red-pilled a lot of the Arab world. Even the Gulf states who thought that they were safe, this has red-pilled a lot of them. And this is going to make a lot of them go closer to China, go closer to Russia. Saudi Arabia's already started buying weapons from other world powers, right? Because when they buy weapons from us, we still have some degree of control over their weapons and how they use them. So what's going to happen is these Gulf states are going to diversify their weapon cache from other countries to not be.
Well, the thing is, they can get it from other countries. They don't only need here.
100% reliant upon the United States, because Israel just demonstrated that if they attack you, you're not going to get the protection that you sold out your country for, by the way.
All right, let's get into the next video. All right, let's find another video. Let's see. Destiny should get into Destiny. Let's see the Aries Spears
on gun control. So the only thing I agreed with him on was the transgender thing, and you know, again, what happened to him shouldn't have happened. You should be able to voice your opinions without your life being cut short due to murder,
right?
Assassination, and there were people that were celebrating, which I think is wrong. And we kind of mentioned it last night where I told you that a lot of people were going, while I don't celebrate his death, I also am not mourning him. And you said that was fair. And I think that is fair.
Yeah.
Because,
okay,
you know,
hot take. I already know. All right, I already know. Don't kill me. Hot take. And I understand that I'm a little bit biased, so I'm going to start this off by saying that. I do think if you go out of your way to make a post about it and you say something like, I'm not cheering it on, but I'm also not mourning it, I think you're appealing to a certain audience. I think you are virtue signaling, and I think you are appealing to a certain audience and trying to get virtue from that audience. Not only that, I think you're also making an implication, okay, in justification a little bit, okay? I understand that I'm biased, so don't start raging in the comments. I already understand this. This is my take, though. I do think the people who went out of their way to say something like, I'm not cheering it on, but I'm also not mourning it, they're making an implication and they're also virtue signaling to an audience. I don't think that they're evil. I think that the people who are cheering it on and the people who are calling for more of it are evil because he was an innocent man who said things. He didn't do anything. He said things. And because he said things that offended certain people, they felt like he was justified in getting killed, and there should be more of that thing happening in America. Those people are evil, in my opinion.
But it's always the people that don't want violence that advocate for violence. It's very weird. Like the people I know that actually beat people up and do shit to people, they don't call for violence online. Really. It's weird.
But I do think, don't kill me, I do think the people who are saying things like, I'm not cheering it on, but I'm also not mourning it, are making a virtue signal to that type of audience,
As this thing is unfolding,
but I'll give it
so
fair.
many
I'll give
clips
it fair.
online, and you know, people cut together like compilations of things that he said, which when you take a step back and look at it, you go, dude wasn't really a good dude. And I want to play two clips that kind of expand on that.
What is, by the way, this is my other problem with death penalty. It takes too long, too many appeals. Expensive. It should be public. It should be quick. It should be televised. And by the way, I would totally tune into. And you know what? I want to watch that execution. Now,
the only thing I'm cutting this clip short is because I like the caption. All his wishes came true. He goes, I think an execution should be public, it should be quick, and it should be televised. If this ain't irony, I don't know what is.
See, and I've been seeing a lot of posts like that, but it's not ironic because he didn't commit a crime. Executions come from you committing a crime or doing wrongdoing. If you rape a 9-year-old boy or something or a girl and then murder them, yeah, I'm all for a speedy execution that saves the taxpayer dollars, and I'll do it myself. Okay, I don't know if I'd actually do that in real life. And I also made a post when this first happened and said because the guy executed Charlie Kirk in front of his family publicly, he should be executed publicly. But I was just kind of being tongue-in-cheek. I actually don't think that execution should be public because I think it brings out I think it's inhumane a little bit. I think it can trigger a certain inhumaneness or anti-humanity thing inside of humans that shouldn't
Yo,
be
Louis
triggered.
gotta
I
hop
don't
in
think
the
we should
chat,
be
yo.
desensitized to that point. So I don't think that
Well,
it
let
should
me
be
pause
public,
this real
but I am
quick,
all
man.
for it. Speedy executions, and Charlie Kirk's situation was not ironic because he didn't do anything wrong. He said things that made people emotional and they couldn't deal with his argument, so they justified him. They justified his murder. Those are two totally different things, so there is no irony there. And them trying to appeal to irony is just a softer way of trying to justify it, in my opinion.
Yours was quick, televised, and what was the other thing he said? It should be quick, televised, and whatever the third thing he said is. Yeah, he fit all three of those.
Except he wasn't convicted of a crime.
He wasn't executed. He was assassinated.
Exactly. Two totally different things.
But
You know, somebody
I get it.
basically said, pick whatever saying you want. You reap what you sow. Chickens coming home to roost.
Is that true though? Reap what you sow, kind of, right?
You die.
If you talk about, guns all the time, it's like a rapper that talks about dying, killing, and drug overdose. When he drug overdoses, do we now? Well, the problem is in this society, we do feel bad for the rapper that glorifies drugs and then dies, overdoses on drugs. Then we feel bad. So it's like the person that talks about guns all the time should we feel bad. If Dr. Fauci was to, or one of those leaders was like, take the jab, take the jab, take the jab, and then pass away from the jab, would you feel bad? Not really, because it's the rhetoric.
Die on that hill.
See, and I know that I'm a little bit biased on this stuff because he's saying like chickens coming home to roost, but he didn't do anything to anybody. He said things, and the reason why I'm so biased about this, and especially in my earlier takes, is because I talk shit for a living.
Yeah, so he's gonna be angry, but I mean, if you do bark up certain trees, it's like a rapper that's talking stuff in songs. It's the same thing. You're making money off talking shit, drumming up emotion in people, right? You can't choose how that emotion goes. Unfortunately, you can't choose. Should people die? No, but you can't choose what happens. You rile people up enough, right? Just like this kid, I just don't understand why you're 22 and you want to throw your life away for someone else. I mean, people must love jail. That's the only thing I can get. But according to like what he was doing, maybe he might like jail.
Everybody has unpopular opinions. You mean to tell me when y'all talk to y'all friends and y'all having a drink, y'all don't have unpopular opinions? What kind of human doesn't have what kind of grown-ass man doesn't have an unpopular opinion that other...
Yeah, but unpopular opinion is different than going on tour with the opinions. It's a little bit different, man. It's a little bit different. Talks at the bar ain't had with everybody.
People might be offended by. But that's the whole point of the exploration of truth. Truth can be offensive, but as men, we have to strive towards the truth. And sometimes in that striving, and sometimes when telling a joke, you can be offensive. So I don't know. So
Yo,
I'm sensitive
Nabilo,
to it
what's
because
good,
I
dog?
talk shit for a living. I don't think I should be killed for the shit that I talk. I think I say things that could offend people, but I don't think I should be killed for it, especially in front of my wife and kids.
How you doing,
and
man?
it would be a shame if we started to do that to people, because I think that everybody could be justified in their death if we started to use this as our golden standard for execution. I remember when I was in high school, and the left, we used to have these conversations about execution, and the left would say that you shouldn't execute people even if they committed heinous crimes. That was the argument, because one innocent person who didn't actually commit a crime, actually do a thing, could be caught up in that system and die unjustly because they didn't do anything. They were just in a bad situation. And I think that this is the case, and I think that it's so ironic that the left...
That is true. That is true, because if someone has mad money, they ain't getting executed. You got a lot of money, you're not getting executed, man.
The shift is
You're broke, your ass might get executed.
so much. in probably just 15 years, to the point where now they're justifying something like this and calling for more of it. It's just such a different political party, in my opinion.
He put so much out to the universe in terms of what people were saying was negativity, and some might use the word evil, that it just seemed like, how ironic.
See, I have a completely different take. I think that today, if you could talk to Charlie Kirk, he still stands by his gun control argument, his gun argument, the Second Amendment.
He said race baiting this, or
he said
he would be stoking the fires right now.
Well, I don't want to misquote him, but he said something to the fact of gun violence should happen. God, what did he say?
It's going to happen. Just
no. I
don't think he said it should happen. Who the fuck would say that? I think he said it's gonna happen in a country with guns.
I want the actual quote. He said something about there should be gun deaths so many times.
Sometimes there has to be gun
collateral
deaths
damage
because to codify the Second Amendment, basically.
Okay, so there was a cartoon.
Basically, gun violence is going to happen because we have guns, right? So, of course, there's going to be gun violence. Car accidents are going to happen because we have cars. And I believe literally at the end of that quote, that's kind of where what he alludes to. Should we get rid of cars because there are car accidents? More people die from car accidents than they do gun violence. So should we get rid of cars?
That's what the thing is, right? So that's where the problem goes when people pick and choose what fence they want to side on. Okay, perfect. Let's protect people at all times. So all you mubs that like to drive fast and y'all don't like tickets, right? Maybe what we need to do is triple all the tickets, right? So that way you people slow down, because more people die from car accidents and texting than guns, right? If you're texting and driving, let's do $500 tickets. That will eliminate it, but people don't want that, right? That's it. Minimum speeding ticket, $500, right? And you have to pay it in 30 days, no extensions. That might help people slow down, right? But people aren't going to like that. Oh, that's extreme. I can't afford it. Okay, slow down on your foot then, Speed Racer. Oh, no, I got to send a text message. Okay, pull over while you need to text. If we really want to eliminate problems, we can do it. We can do it. And we'll just start at the top of what causes deaths in America. So we'll go number one. Is, I don't know, it's probably somewhere around car accidents, right? And what are most people car accidents for? Negligence and speeding. $500 minimum car tickets. Speeding, eliminated. $300 minimum fine for texting. Texting, eliminated. I'm just saying. That's a solution. People ain't gonna like that solution, but that's an easy one right there. Boom. I just figured it out. I just debunked it right there. Less deaths right there, easily.
So I think that's where he was going with that.
He's standing in heaven, and
I'm not running for office though. I'll never run for office, because once you think of an idea that helps everyone, hey man, they might take you out, because 100% that idea would stop car accidents overnight. Right? You speed 500. Don't worry. Once y'all can't make your next car payment, and it's got to be paid in 30 days, we ain't playing with y'all, or we garnish your wages. Gotcha.
A bunch of little kids in front of them with red dots, meaning bullet holes, and they're quoting his quote back to him as he stands in front of them with a bullet hole, red dot on his neck.
But I still think that he believes in that. I think he believes in it because we can say this. And listen, I don't know where I stand on gun control. I really don't. I would like to be more educated before I say anything, because it is different. The gun that he was killed with wouldn't have been in any gun control laws. It was a long gun. It was a hunting rifle. Right. It can be used for hunting. It's
Does
long.
It make a difference if a scope is on it or not?
No.
Oh.
So that is not, that wouldn't fall under.
A scope wouldn't exist if it didn't make a difference.
But my point is that I think that he would say, he said what he meant, and I think that he knew very well that he could be someone. He's had death threats. I'm sure that he knew that he could be one of those people, but he still said it, and I think he meant it. His life wasn't above the laws of the land.
And I think that it's funny that the people who don't understand gun laws are always the ones calling for more gun laws. Like, I don't understand gun laws to the point where I'm going to start saying we need more gun laws, because I don't even really know what they are. So the people who are calling for it obviously want something, and I think it goes down to the point where they want to just take all of the guns away from us. And in my opinion, people who want to kill people or people who want to harm people.
That's the problem. You're not going to be able to take away all the guns in this country. First off, the country's too big. They can't even control it in smaller countries. Look at the gun control problems they have in small-ass countries. You think that America is the size of 50 independent countries. I don't think people realize how big America is, you know? Since you can move around and you don't need visas and things like that, people just don't realize how big America is. Like, y'all don't realize. Like, you can drive, like in Maryland, you can drive to New York in 3 or 4 hours or some shit and pass 4 or 5 states. Like, you people are not understanding. Like, in Europe, you can take a train from Paris to Amsterdam, and it's 5 hours. In some states in the US, you can drive for 5 hours and still be in that state. Like, bro, this is like out of control. Like, there's a train probably literally takes from Jacksonville to Miami. It probably takes like 5 hours. That's from France to Amsterdam in like 5 or 6 hours. Like, you're passing over multiple countries. People don't realize how big America is. Like, this country is so big. It's almost damn near uncontrollable, which is partly why all the states run as like independent partners. You know, it's too many people, too big of a space. Like, bro, come on.
People are going to find a way. Should we get rid of kitchen knives because there's going to be a guy that stabbed, like the guy who stabbed the girl on the bus or the train, or I believe it was a bus? Should we get rid of knives then because people are going to commit crimes with them? I know in the UK, they got rid of guns. People pour acid on people's faces and stuff. If people want to commit crimes, they're going to find a way to do it. I don't understand the gun laws enough for us to be calling to happen.
Yeah, well, the problem is that the gun laws wouldn't have prevented what happened to Charlie Kirk, because that wasn't an automatic rifle. An automatic rifle is what shouldn't be allowed. What is it? Automatic, like army guns. Civilians don't need army guns. But what Charlie Kirk was not an army gun. What ultimately, I think happened to Charlie Kirk is that I think all these places need higher surveillance anytime you have a public speaker. But again, that's more money, that's more this. If colleges cannot protect the person that is there to public speak, I don't think you should have them there. And not Charlie Kirk, the Utah, y'all don't have a basketball team? Which means you could have had an indoor arena where people are searched before they get in, right? Didn't need to be some outdoor thing, but, what do I know? But I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I'm pretty sure if they're public state schools that people are paying for, just like a high school. I can't just walk into a high school midday. But I guess college campuses are so open, it's kind of hard to, people are already late to class. There are going to be even more excuses. But I would say if you have a public speaker that's controversial, it probably should be in an arena, even if it's free, and you have police there to ID people, maybe ID people just to get the names of everyone that come in, because necessarily everyone in college could be 18 and up. So you make sure you're 18 and up, or your college ID to even be there. Boom, 1, and then you're checking for obvious devices to cause harm, but they didn't do that. I don't know why.
Have more of them. I can't.
He believed in the Constitution and that he was not above it. That if he was one of the people to be taken out.
Yeah, it's worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment. He's not saying that people need to be shot.
He said, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, of course, if you're going to have guns, there's going to be guns deaths. And to be honest, at least he's being honest about it. But
well, listen, I don't want to. I'm not minimizing. When you see a child that unnecessarily dies, it's a horrible, horrible thing, and it's a gun death, and you go, that's horrible. More children are killed in car accidents throughout this country. I'm not saying, but no one's going to yell at, we need to get rid of cars.
More children are killed in abortion.
Everybody, we should only have trains.
Cars, but you can put tons of safety precautions on them.
That's the real conversation they don't want to have, but hey. I don't know.
You know what?
And nobody,
but I'm sorry, it's not in the
Don't have that
Constitution.
convo.
It's in the Constitution, codified in the Constitution, that we have a right to those guns.
But car accidents are just that. Accidents.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting into a car going, I'm going to mow down a school full of kids. Somebody.
Shit, it just happened in New Orleans. Didn't that just happen in New Orleans? Didn't somebody just get in their car and mowed down? I don't remember the exact case. I could be wrong. Didn't that just happen in Germany? At like a Christian parade? I could be wrong. Now y'all can look into the cases, but I'm pretty sure
That did happen.
people
That did happen. People will be using cars as weapons, but I don't think those are car accidents. When it happens like that, I don't think it's an accident.
mow people down. I just seen a
But to me, it's like, yeah, when you're driving, whatever, when you're driving down the road and you see the BMW swerving in between all the cars and he gets into a car crash, that person in the M3 did not mean to crash into anyone, but it's still a car accident. But that person was negligent, so is it really an accident? Right? Right? If there's a crowd of people and I'm trying to throw a baseball into a garbage can and there's people in between, is it an accident when I hit someone in the head with a baseball? Do they consider that an accident? Is it an accident? Probably, because I'm trying to get in the garbage can. The person that gets hit with the baseball, do they consider that an accident? Fuck no.
video today that was horrific on Facebook or on one of these social media platforms. I mean, it's just crazy the stuff that they show you on these platforms nowadays. You used to have to go on bestgore.com. Now all you do is log in. The first thing you see is somebody going through something crazy. But it was some fight in the hood or something, you know, some people doing black people stuff, some nigga stuff going on. And man, one of these girls got in a car and rammed another car while this girl's leg was in the door
100%.
and her leg got cut off, man. So to say that people don't use cars for violence on purpose is just not, that's disingenuous, man. It does happen. I don't think it happens as much as gun violence. I don't know the statistics, but I'm just saying, like, if people want to kill people, they're going to find a way to do it.
He is going, I'm going to grab my gun, I'm going to go into a school and deliberately kill kids.
Okay, so that being said...
So that argument about more kids dying...
Yeah, but so the gun didn't kill anybody. The guy who decided to go in there and kill the kids. That same guy could go get in his car and he could go run down if he didn't have access to a gun and he wanted to kill kids.
What are the stats of that happening?
We don't know because we don't have we have guns.
We already have certain gun control precautions, not enough of them, and to act like you can't.
That's the problem. We need more. We need more regulation. That's the problem. It's not taking them away because you can't take them away, but they can regulate them more if they really wanted to. Right? There can be more regulation.
Make any of them.
That's what I would say. You're not going to take them all away. There can't be more regulation. But again, if car accidents kill more people every year than guns, right? If car accidents kill more people every year than guns, $500 speeding tickets every time you get caught speeding, because you shouldn't be speeding because you're putting other people in danger. $500 speeding tickets will lower car accidents, right? Texting while driving is one of the things that leads to car accidents. Swerves, little fender benders, whatever. $300 fines every time you're caught texting. These are things that would bring down car accidents, I think. Let me know in the chat what y'all think. What y'all think? Because if they want to take away guns, right? Because people are unsafe and you need to get rid of guns, whatever, public safety, right? More people die from car accidents. If you got a $500 speeding ticket for going over the speed limit, let's say 10 miles per hour, do you think you would speed again? You think you would speed again if you got a $300 ticket for texting? Maybe you might text again, but I guarantee you won't when you get caught and you realize that text message wasn't worth $300 fucking dollars. And also, right, when this is implemented, this is just hypothetical, it has to be paid in that month or your license is suspended. No more pushing it back for a month. No, you make the mistake that month, you pay for it that month. right? Just like any other crime. When you commit a crime, you can't be like, oh man, well hold on, let me put it off till next month. Or even a misdemeanor, any kind of infraction. Oh, I know you caught me with weed now, but let's talk about this next month. Let's extend it. No. If they really wanted to solve people speeding and driving all crazy, that's how you could do it right there. Because people ain't going to stop nothing until their pockets are hurt, right? Unfortunately. Just like gun laws. The gun companies aren't going to want more regulations unless people would just a mass stop buying guns. And they're like, oh, we don't want to buy guns because there's not enough regulations. Then I guarantee you the gun companies are like, okay, let's do regulations, but y'all keep buying guns. That's what happened. You got to hurt them in the pockets, unfortunately, in this country. Sad, but true.
Or you can.
No, I think there could be. I said. No,
because even the NRA's position on this has changed. They used to be way more moderate.
I agree with you 100%. I think there has to be a lot of different. I don't think anybody who has any mental illness needs to be able to have a gun. I think the people who own guns and then leave them under their bed and their kids that take them out, they should be held accountable for that. If you own a gun, you should also own a gun safe. There should not be a free roaming gun in a house. A kid should never be able to pull a gun out of his dad's drawer and shoot himself accidentally and kill him.
They should be registered too.
That's a good one too. All guns should be registered. When you buy a gun, you should be required to buy a gun locker. Sorry. Right?
Everything should be registered. There should be no more
I'm going to tell you
loophole.
right now, I know.
Because when I buy my car that I pay for, I got to register it.
Well,
Why wouldn't I have to register a gun?
know personally, and I ain't really 100% proud to say this, I know personally people who have guns that are not registered, and they can. I'm not saying they have, but I'm just saying they could so happen to commit crimes with those guns. A lot of people who commit crimes with guns, they're not registered. So people who want to commit crimes with guns are going to find guns to get access to. That's just part of it.
Shoot himself accidentally and kill him.
They should be registered too.
Everything should be registered. There should be no more loopholes where you can go buy at these gun shows. All that should be gone.
You should be able to study gun violence too, right?
All that should be done. Yes, I'm for all that.
That's true. When you have to take a longer, I'm not sure about this. I don't have any guns. I don't have no guns. But if it's easier to get a gun than it is to get a driver's license,
I'm not saying that, but you cannot. I don't believe that a foundation is the Second Amendment in our Constitution allows that to be there. There's a reason why that's there, but that's my point. But the safety precautions that they're fighting against, I don't agree with that.
So here's another reason why black people weren't necessarily crying over him. Did they just mix my clip up? What the was that?
For how they feel about his death, especially minority communities. Black people are better off as slaves. Black women have less brain processing power, which is crazy because we're the highest educated.
See, no. Pull up the clip of him saying that. I want to see the clip of him saying it. Maybe somebody can stitch me in it, put it on TikTok to prove me wrong. Black people were better off as slaves. That's what he said, word for word. Or are you? What are you saying right now? Let's be honest here. I want to see how he pulled up the other clips of Charlie Kirk talking. I want to see the clip of him saying that. I don't want to hear somebody saying that he said that.
Demographic in the country. Black women have less brain processing power, which is crazy because we're the highest educated demographic in the country, by the way. 10-year-olds should have to give birth to their rapist babies. Execution should be public, quick, and televised. And children should be able to watch. Black people are only in high-up positions because of affirmative action, not because they are qualified. He called George Floyd a scumbag who is unworthy of the attention he's receiving. He said that gun deaths are an inevitable price worth paying to safeguard the Second Amendment. He told Taylor Swift that she needs to submit to her husband. He said transgenderism is a mental disorder. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. He called.
I know that one specifically came from a DEI conversation, meaning if you're putting people into positions that they don't compete and qualify for based on merit, the chances that you're going to have those people in the position that are not qualified is higher. So he was saying, oh, if I see I don't, basically saying like, I don't want to have to live like that. But at this point, because of the DEI, you have to assume now that some of these people aren't qualified. And to be honest, black people and black men, that's why I don't even really like the conservatives talking about black people benefiting or associating black people with DEI because we didn't really benefit from DEI. But that's also why I don't understand why black people ride so hard for it, because white women benefit from DEI. Asian people, Hispanic people, LGBTQ people, disabled people, all of those people benefited more from DEI than black women, and then even lower down the list is black men. So by and large, black people didn't even benefit from DEI. So I don't know why people
a danger to the United States. He said Jewish communities have been pushing hatred against whites, and there's many more.
That's not true.
So again, this is why people are like, Stu was a piece of shit.
If you just take those little snippets out of what he said, though, of course you're going to get some fucked up shit.
That's my thing. I think like if you just listen to snippets of anyone, you're gonna get some fucked up shit. I think you have to listen to everything in total, right? You need to be to. It's just like with this fucking Trump and Biden bullshit. If you can't name a Joe Biden quote in full and a Donald Trump quote in full, you're not doing enough research on it, right? I don't know. I think of everything as like an athlete. If I ask Kobe Bryant to break down the Detroit Pistons film, he'll be able to break it down and what the Lakers should do because he wants to defeat that opponent. The only way to defeat your opponent is to know what they want to do, how they want to do it, and how you can stop what they want to do. It's not whining and saying to cancel the other person.
That's the problem. That
I guarantee you, and I'm going to clip this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to find clips of Ari Spears saying egregious shit that he could be killed for. And by the way, I'm not calling for violence. I'm just going to...
Yeah, 100%, but he's under the guise of a comedian.
I am going to do that, though.
As you're seeing, this is white nationalism, a little bit white supremacy, wrapped up nicely with a suit and a smile. He's telling you all those things, but he's also doing it in a nice,
no, it's
manner.
not just a nice way, because those things are snippets of what his whole conversation is.
Okay, whoa.
Right,
So wait, why you do that? So are you saying that we needed to hear the whole quotes?
Yes, you need to hear the whole quotes. You can't have stuff out of context.
To think of them differently?
Okay, I don't care if it's vile or whatever. Let me hear the full contents. Don't snip it from me. I don't need Cliff Notes. Cliff Notes is this New World bullshit. I want to hear the whole thing so I can decide for myself. Right? I don't need fucking Cliff Notes. You need Cliff Notes when you're uninterested. That's what you do when you get a book that you don't want to read in college. You get the fucking Cliff Notes. But none of y'all need Cliff Notes to watch the fucking Vikings game. Right? No one needs Cliff Notes to watch the fucking Super Bowl, right? But a whole bunch of bullshit happens during the Super Bowl. There's not 100 points. There's mad plays where nothing happens. Y'all don't care. Y'all want to see a guy go 10 of 24 and watch every fucking play of the Super Bowl, right? So don't give me the Cliff Notes of the fucking, of anyone. I don't want the Cliff Notes of anyone. If I care, I don't need Cliff Notes. You know what I'm saying? To your favorite song, do you need a summary of it or you want to hear your song?
I hope that he's qualified as a black pilot. He was talking about especially that if you use DEI and people know that black people are getting jobs because specifically over anyone else because of it and underqualified, that isn't going to make you uncomfortable, or that you have black pilots, there's no DEI, and you know that they got the job just because of that. A woman... go ahead.
I don't need to see the chunks in sour milk to know it's sour. I can just smell it. So what you're about to do is go, well...
See, that's him assuming. Because that would be like me hearing this now and being like, oh, I hear Ari Spears for 10 seconds. He's not fucking funny.
What he's really meaning is, because do you want somebody who might not be qualified to be...
But that's actually what he said. He didn't say just those few words.
I know. But it's almost like, come on, man.
But the context matters, especially in debate, because even when that 10-year-old, about the 10-year-old having to deliver a baby, basically the Republican stance and the more conservative, especially Christian stance, is that life is sacred. Human life is sacred and it should be protected even if evil calls something beautiful like life. So that's the stance. So what she did when she came in is to challenge his consistency with his stance, is she put the most and they always do this with abortion because they know that 98% of the abortions that happen are just unjust. So they just make up some crazy example. They think of the most egregious hypothetical they can to try to make you look like a bad person. So she said, if your 10-year-old daughter was raped, would you force her to deliver the baby, or would she deliver the baby, or something like that? It didn't even have anything to do with force. And Charlie Kirk said, I'm not okay with it, but because I believe in the sanctity of life as part of his argument. Yeah. Just to stay, he has to stay morally consistent. And also, too, let's be honest, you're talking. It's easy to say that because he know his daughter ain't gonna get assaulted like that in no alley. So you're standing on your morals and principles in the form of a debate. That was in a debate. So to even use that as an example, and that's why the context matters, because that was a hypothetical presented to him in a debate.
Between the lines, I really need to see all the quotes from top to bottom to know there's enough accumulated on this dude's quotes to.
Chat, is Aries Spears funny?
No, his spirit is not in the right place. His spirit is not in the right place.
I'm not. I don't think you're allowed to condemn anyone's spirit. But maybe Pastor Spears. I don't know.
So because you determined that based on your worldview,
he's God.
He can be executed. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that he necessarily is cheering it on. I'm just talking about the people who do. I think that he's kind of. That's why I say
he's playing the fence.
It gets very gray. That's why when I started this off, I'm like, the people who kind of do that, it seems like they're appealing to a certain idea or a certain audience, or they're virtue signaling to an audience that's okay with certain things. I'm not saying they're saying it's okay. I'm just saying it seems as though they're appealing to that audience. And I don't think that individuals, because of their politics, get to determine if somebody should die because of their words, because I say things that because of somebody's politics, I'm sure they believe that I could, with that metric of, with that standard, would believe that I should also be able to be publicly murdered, which is insane.
Debate, and he always has been respectful, and he's tried to bring out both sides.
White supremacy with a smile.
That's not white supremacy.
So the part about hold up. So the part about black women's brain power.
I need to hear the whole thing. Because,
you need to hear that whole thing?
Yeah, because I don't believe that he said it that way.
Yeah,
he said it. I've literally seen the clip.
Let me see the clip.
I saw the clip of him saying it.
I haven't seen it.
Andy, I promise you.
It's
I've seen it. It exists.
I don't know if he literally said black people. He was referring to the Supreme Court Justice Michelle Obama.
And somebody had a nice retort to that, talking about their brain power. All of them either graduated from Harvard, Yale. You know where he graduated from? Harper College.
Who?
Yeah, but that's assuming that where you graduate from reflects your intelligence, and I'm not a proponent of that. I think there are a lot of people who get really good grades who graduate from even sometimes prestigious colleges that I wouldn't trust running a lemonade stand. So that's just, I don't think that college equates to intelligence, in my personal opinion.
I don't even think he went to college.
He didn't go to college.
Charlie Kirk.
He didn't go to college.
Harper, somebody said Harper College.
He didn't go to college.
Graduated.
He might have.
Say that part again.
He never graduated.
He never.
So he's debunked. She's debunked. Oh, come on, Aries. Aries, stand on business. Aries.
Graduated.
He talks about it.
He started one of the biggest political movements in the world out of high school. The brother was putting up buckets in high school. Then he was throwing the ball 60 yards while in high school, and decided to go into politics and create one of the biggest platforms in the world. I don't give a damn if he didn't graduate from college, brother. I'm sorry. I don't care. That shows a level of intelligence and a level of...
I mean, he didn't need to go to college because he already had everything set to make money. Fuck would you go to college for if you don't gotta make money? If you don't need to make money. What the fuck? The fuck? Who the fuck would waste time in college if you're gonna fucking go there and make money? All right, let's get back to it.
Organization and a level of ambition and a willingness to act on your ambition that even people that go to college, that I know that go to college, get these prestigious degrees, get out of college and never get a job in their degree. I think that requires a level of intelligence. I'm sorry. And I think that intelligence is how you apply. I know people who go and get these degrees and then they never use them, and then they make horrible decisions in their lives and they can't even govern their own lives. So are you really intelligent if you can't even govern your own life? If you make so many bad decisions that you just end up in bad positions in life because you don't have impulse control and you can't govern yourself well, but you got a master's, who cares about that? It's about results. And let's just be honest here. Let's be fair. If somebody builds one of the biggest political systems, Turning Point USA, one of the most impactful, in my opinion, contributions to a person becoming president, and they're traveling and debating college students all day, literally killing them. And part of his critique is you're just going to college campuses and debating college students. So it's showing a level of maturity and intelligence that these kids don't have. But I think that that's the whole point of going to college, is having your beliefs challenged either way. But the point that I'm trying to make here is he obviously exuded some level of intelligence if he's accomplished all those things before he was 31 years old. And because they couldn't beat him in debates, they thought that it was necessary to kill him.
One of his talking
points. Okay, so what right does he have to say to women who have graduated from Harvard and Yale their brain power, and you didn't even finish?
As far as I know, he didn't even go. He started a foundation.
You're not making the argument better.
Well, it doesn't matter if he went or not. The dude is clearly
but no, here's what I'm talking about. Let me get to what I just said.
Yeah, because these guys in this room, did any of them go to college?
Here you are, talking about women who just happen to be of color, coincidence, with low IQs. You didn't even finish college if you even went. So I don't need to see the chunks in the milk
but that's
to know
because you're measuring college with intelligence. Nobody else does that. And I don't think it's very intelligent to assume because somebody went to a good college that they're more intelligent necessarily. I think that it could be a good symptom of it. I think, sure, somebody who goes to somebody who graduates from Harvard is probably smarter than somebody who didn't go to college at all, or just got a trade job out of high school. Probably, but not always necessarily. Trust me. And in this case, where you actually have accomplishments to stand behind the reason why you didn't go to college, it's a good reflection that maybe he was a lot more intelligent than a lot of the people he was probably talking about.
That might be a quotable thing, right? Like, college is a symptom of someone that could be smart, or a symptom of someone that could have some sense to them. But is it the whole story? No. But that could be a good symptom. But I don't think Ari Spears went to MIT. And he definitely didn't go to MIT for comedy, right? Can we come to that consensus?
And talking to be honest.
It's bad. I can smell it.
And he's a little bit very emotional about this. He's very emotional.
So
I feel like if he had a comedy special on Netflix and they told him not to say none of this shit, he wouldn't.
You sit here and get ready to go, I need to see the whole quotes. He said enough wild that his spirit is not in the right place.
Well, when the Ukrainian woman thing happened, he was actually really outraged by that as well. But he would start throwing out the statistics. Black people have this high crime rate.
You need to see the whole quote based on what you just heard about him saying about Jews.
Yeah.
I think if you're actually concerned about black people and the black community, that's something that we should worry about. I do agree with that. You don't need to point out black crime statistics. That's a problem for us to solve, because when black people commit crimes, they don't commit them against white people for the most part, by and large. And I'm going to be honest here, too, and I always make this point, that is a small minority of our community that gets reflected and pushed by the media. And the media that pushes it is generally not owned by the people that look like us, and that's why it's pushed to that degree. Now, of course, there are people who sell out
1,000%.
buy into these big contracts because they come from nothing. By the way, that's the whole formula. You get people that come from nothing that can promote this type of image, and because you own the record label, you get to tell the image that you want to put out, and they have to put that image out. If you say they can't put this music out because it's too much like this, they have to be what you want them to be to push the music out. And they
That's probably one of the best quotes I've ever heard. That's facts. That's facts. If rappers are rapping about some smart shit, then the record labels don't like it, they ain't gonna push it. That's why they're all getting sued right now for payola. When people were talking about them Kanye backpack raps, he even said it himself, they weren't pushing it. When KIMMEL wants to talk about some uplifting black people stuff, they ain't pushing it. They pushing NBA YoungBoy in arenas.
They know this type of stuff sells, so they push this type of stuff out. And it is a small minority of our community, but it is the part of the community that the world gets to see. And to be honest, if you're on the outside looking in, I've been to Africa, places where people look like us, and they look at our culture and they say a lot of the same things that people who are here say. But it is a small, and I need people who
Nigeria all day, man.
don't know our culture to understand this. It's a small minority of our culture. It's not a huge part. And most people, I think it's like, there's statistics that say that 1% of all violent criminals commit 64% of all of the violent crimes. And you guys can look that up. Maybe I'll put it up on the screen. 1% of violent people commit 64% of all violent crimes. So if it's just 1% of the people, or like, and I think it's like 3% of people ever commit violent crimes. So even in the black community, say it's double and it's like 6% of the black community, that's still a very, very, very small minority of people. I think that we do have issues with the family, like with our family systems, dependency on welfare states and all these other things. That's different. And even that's still a minority, but it's still at higher percentages than other communities. I agree. We're working on it, whatever it may be, blah, blah, blah. But I think that that's a problem for us to solve, and I think that shows a lack of understanding of our culture when that's the way you look at it. The vast majority, 97% of black people are not violent criminals. Also don't like one thing about African-American culture that's around that crime is a protection of that crime, and that's like the no snitch rules and the no snitch laws. I think that stuff got to go. I think people who commit violent crimes should be told on and should go to jail. I know, oh, raccoon, Uncle Ty, every slander word you're going to make in the comments, but I believe in the success of black people. We've been successful with the family structures before. We did things like jump the broom. We are a part of this country. This is our country. We've had people that have fought in wars and bled for this soil right here. We've contributed in many ways. We're talking about all forms of music. I mean, we created the blues and then jazz, and then combined to turn to R&B, rock and roll, hip hop, which eventually turned to something that I don't necessarily like. But you talking about when we wanted to prove to Nazi Germany that they weren't the superior race, we sent Jesse Owens and he did a sweep. When we wanted to prove to the world that during the Cold War against Russia that black people was more influential and that American culture was influential, because how influential your culture is shows how powerful your culture is and how vibrant it is to the world, and they want to mimic the things that you do. The CIA hired Louis Armstrong to travel the world. Right? So we've made many contributions to the country. We've black people represent 13% of the population. It's about 30-40 million of us. And so we're a nation inside of a nation. I believe there's more black people in America than there is people in Canada. So we're an entire nation inside of a nation. And by the way, we have a huge budget. We have a lot of spending power because of the stuff that we've developed and the work that we've done in America. And we are Americans, and people need us. We need to stop thinking that we're not Americans and get our piece of the pie, because we deserve it, and we need to build our family structures back and build the leadership that we had back in the 60s, maybe not representing the same causes. Maybe we need to represent different causes, but we need that level of leadership back in our communities, and that stuff comes from family. So that's what I like, that's why I'm more conservative. But at the end of the day, the reason why black folks get so sensitive to that type of messaging is because we understand that it's just a small percentage of our population that gets too much press. They get too much media, and they get pushed out there as a representation of us, and it's not a valid representation of us. It's not, because most black people are not violent. But either way, guys, I'm going to end the video here, and I'm going to leave a link in the comments down below if y'all want to go watch the full video. Let me know in the comments below if this video was a W or L, and give me the HBO special. That's a help brother out special. Hit the like and the subscribe button for more content.
Yeah, hit that like and subscribe for him, man. He makes good content, man. Poor Man's Reacts. You guys can follow him. That's pretty good stuff. So I really did the Doha, right? That's Rumble. Should we see what Fresh and Fit are doing?
No.
Yeah, you did.
Because
after 6 years?
By the 5th year of the relationship, I had already came to senses that maybe this is not something that I see in my future. But it was hard for me to leave because I was trauma bonded to him after being together for so many years.
Okay.
Wait, what the fuck is trauma bonded?
People mean different things when they mean it, but I want to hear her definition.
But like, I'm a dude, bro. What the fuck is trauma bonded? And he's like, he's hurt. Like, I don't know. Like what does it mean? Like, what happened?
Like, basically.
Like vaguely. If you don't go into details, it's fine. I understand people have personal issues, but I want to.
Damn, I wonder what's What's Myron been doing? You know what I'm saying? Not that the show can't go on, but I'm not gonna lie. Part of the reason a lot of people like the show was Myron. Like, where's Myron? They got Drunk Chris on here. He's funny. But where's Myron?
Day. So we need each other to function in order to regulate our emotions. When I'm around him, I feel.
Wait, so
You
your
know what I'm
emotions, because like he's a dude. Like dudes don't really,
But he was
Call of Duty, we jerking off.
He doesn't play any video games or anything like that. He is very emotional because he's a Caribbean man. I feel like most men are like Caribbean men are like more.
No, let's see the other one. Can I watch that? Oh no, let's see this one.
Another one of those great communicators.
Oh, yeah.
But he also knows how to increase the temperature. And he is sitting there saying, I want to see the blood. I don't know if you saw that one. There's two clips. One is him, and that's the one right there, Rob. I think that's the one. That's 9 seconds. Play this clip here, Rob.
Kill those motherfuckers and murder those motherfuckers in the street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods, dude. Kill them.
Okay, so by the way, can you find out where he said that?
That's on what stream, Robbie?
Yeah, I just want to know what stream.
Well, that's on Twitch, because down here it says twitch.tv/Hasan Abi.
So perfect. So that's Twitch, right? So that means if it's still up and he's still active on Twitch, Twitch is okay with that. Which, by the way, that's Twitch's policies. And then
they have suspended him for saying stupid stuff, but then he comes right back on.
Okay. So, and is that him on Twitch?
Yeah.
3 million followers on Twitch. Okay. And then at the same time, Destiny, who is name is, what's his name? Steve Bonell or something like that?
Stevie boy.
Yeah, so Steve Bonell, story comes out. Who is Steve Bonell? Destiny facing backlash after he refused to condemn Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I think this is the one with Anna Kasparian. I think Anna Kasparian handled it like a pro, not only a pro, like a noble human being. Is that the one, Rob?
So there's two. The first one is this one right here, where Destiny says that Charlie Kirk would still be alive today if Donald Trump wasn't elected to a second term.
Sure, go for it.
I think that liberals need to wake up and finally realize that if they're not willing to do it, it will never come down. If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. Every time he's in office, this happens. People joked about when Biden came in, it was so boring, nothing was going on. 7 out of 10 of the largest protests in American history have happened under Donald
Trump. Okay, so that's that part. And the question becomes...
Yeah, but why they cut off the rest of the facts he was saying? Come on, PBD. Don't do that.
Why? I can be a billionaire. Let's just call me Jorge. I can be a billionaire and have a lot of money, and I can pay people to do protests to make it seem like there's a lot of chaos and blame it on the president. That's very easy to do. And then I can have a guy named Joseph who can become the leader and make it seem like everything is peaceful, but nobody around the world respects us and wars are happening all over the place. Which of the two would you rather prefer? Optics is it, and
the wars are still happening now.
Manipulation works.
See, that's the problem. The wars are still happening now. If there was no wars now, okay, whatever, you agree. You got Israel bombing all over the world. The Ukraine and Russia conflict still happening. Like, there's still wars going on.
What is the other clip? Right? Yeah, do you have the one with Elon Musk, the tweet?
Yes, and then the other clip that I also have is him refusing to denounce the killing of Charlie Kirk.
Where is that a
so
tweet?
This is the Elon Musk.
No, that's Piers Morgan's normally line, like, oh, hold on. Let's say what you want to, also pay the price under law. If you just saw Destiny and those points, so they be advised that this is not a one-time thing and it's not new. I don't think this jackass should be banned, but Amazon should stop paying him to incite murder. That's insane. Separately, an indictment to murder and domestic terrorism is a felony crime. For that, he should go to prison. Oh, shit. Damn.
Musk response to Destiny right here.
Okay, so if you just saw Destiny endorse political violence today, be advised that this is not a one-time thing, and it's not new. Okay, Elon Musk says let him say what he wants, but then also pay the price under the law. I don't think this jackass should be banned, but Amazon should stop paying him to incite murder. That's insane. Separately, incitement to murder and domestic terrorism is a felony crime. For that, he should go to prison. He can resume streaming when he has served his term. Vinny, thoughts on this?
And Rob, can you go? Because yesterday, Destiny trying to play the freaking Steve tried to play the victim, and he's like, Elon got me banned from Twitch. Somebody fact checked him. He was banned in March 2022. Can you find out? First of all, he's a liar, Pat. And in regard to his character as a human being, he's being sued.
No, but he was allowed to come back on Twitch
right now for a girl that me and Adam know. Excuse me, about putting a video up on her and it spread the porn sites, but that's a whole different situation. But know who you're talking about, Rob. And this is it, Rob. He said, unreal. Elon Musk and other conservatives got me banned from Twitch. This is readers added context. That's from March 2022. Stop playing the victim, Steven. And then Rob, go to the clip, please, that I sent you. He posted a video. He recounted. This is an older clip, but he recounted a near murder plot against a rival gamer. I guess a rival gamer conducted a DDoS attack on him. Listen to what he says. Rob, keep going down. No, down the other way. It's the Destiny one. Up. Is that it?
I don't see it.
I'm sorry. It's a clip of him. I'm going to send it to Rob where he's literally calling for the And this is to answer your question. You could have all the free speech you want all day. The moment you say, go kill them, or you say, I'm going to go kill and I want to kill, that's the line in the sand, and that's where the law has to get involved. You could go say whatever you want, F Donald Trump, we're Nazis, whatever. The consequences legally, because we're not going to go there and kill you and shoot you like the left does, there has to be consequences. And while you guys are talking, I'm going to send it to Rob, because I have it.
Adam, your thoughts, because you've spent time with Destiny.
Yeah, I know Destiny very well. He's very informed. He's well-spoken. He's not an idiot, but he is very cold and callous. You know, sometimes when you're going to make your name on the internet...
Yeah, but the thing is that Destiny is just the opposite side of Charlie Kirk. He's literally the same way. Once you put Destiny in a corner against his beliefs, same way as Charlie Kirk, same way as Trump, same way as all these AOC, whoever, they're not gonna come off of what their beliefs are, right? Because they feel like if they give an inch, you're going against their ideology, right? Destiny is the same exact way, and just like he debates in schools, the same exact way against the opposite side of Charlie Kirk, the same exact way.
On YouTube, you have to have almost no shame and honestly like tune out the noise and not even care what people think. And sometimes that's a good sign. On the other hand, at some point you become completely apathetic, you have zero emotion, you have no feelings anymore, you become cold, you become unremorseful, and coldness is not a sign of strength. It's actually a sign of weakness. So you'll minimize people's pain, you'll gaslight, you don't care. So to be clear, not an idiot. You don't get to where he is with millions of followers.
Has he been demonetized?
I don't know where he's at, but I know he's dealing with it. But here's what I've realized.
How in the world can you get demonetized for saying, I think the election was stolen, get demonetized for something as innocuous as that, and yet call for the murder or call for violence against the opposite side and still continue to thrive on these social media platforms?
The owners of those platforms have some explaining to do, is what you're saying, right?
Clearly. Yeah.
But here's what I've realized about the far, far, far left. And I wouldn't even put Destiny in the far left. We witnessed this when you were doing the Jubilee debate. Were those people stupid? Were they uninformed? Were they idiots? They were actually, well-spoken, smart, quick, but all their energy was just put in the wrong place. They spend years of their lives just trying to double down on anti-America, anti-capitalist tendencies. There was people there that were citing things we've never even heard of. And at the end of the day, you can just ask these people one question. Here's the biggest differentiator. Do you love America or do you hate America? And you'll find that the people that support Charlie Kirk love America.
Here's what I want to ask. I want to ask this. Okay, Rob, is this the clip where he says what he says about what should happen to Trump supporters?
Yeah, promoted and encouraged political violence towards conservatives.
Go ahead, play that.
Crime statistics? Not exactly like...
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature.
That is...
The issue is now, they don't feel like there's any fear. Like, I don't know. It's like memes. It's just memes to everybody, I guess. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't care. I'm playing video games, okay? I'm done today. I don't give a fuck.
He knows he
God,
messed
it's
up.
going to be so fucking gay if I get killed
The
in the next
moment
fucking
he
2
says
months.
that,
he felt it.
Then he says, I don't know, I'm going to play video games.
That's the definition of fascism right there. Intimidation, fear of death for what you say. That is literally the definition. And they want to call hey
So they're gonna
fascist
cancel
catch was
Did Destiny get canceled for this? What ended up happening with that?
engraved on the bullet casing that killed.
Anyone know, chat? What happened with Destiny? Because that was a wild ass statement. You can't just you can't be saying people should be in fear of their lives. That's kind of wild, Destiny. Come on, Destiny.
Charlie Kirk. They want to call the right fascists. They're literally on the road to fascism, if not already there.
Can I address the video game thing? Because the first time I had Destiny on my show, I said, like, what's your obsession with video games? Like, why are kids so obsessed with video games? He goes, you don't play video games? I go, not at all. I get out there and touch grass. I play in the real world.
Okay, but then it's like, okay, this is why I never understand the the bemoaning of other people's hobbies, right? You've got this UFC guy, UFC thing right here. You never fought anyone, right? You got the liquor here. So if someone wants to play video games, they should go drink. Like, I don't understand. They should have a podcast with bitches. Like, what this? I don't never understood the attack on people just wanting to do square things. If kids like to just fucking play video games and worry about politics until they are fucking 30, like normal people, right? And it didn't control their whole teens, fucking your boy Charlie Kirk would be alive. But no, we want kids. Now, how are you 22 and you have that strong of an opinion to kill someone? At 22. 22, your first time voting. You went through one cycle of voting and didn't get the person you wanted, and now you killed someone. That's how emotionally fragile people are now. But yet, people are mad. We need more motherfuckers playing video games.
There is a common theme here, and I'm not generalizing. The far left will play video games and act tough. The people on the right.
So you think that Call of Duty and GTA, those are the far left? The UFC video game? Your boy Dana White, he's trying to sell video games.
Actually have the guns and actually go to gym and actually are tough. But they don't overuse their authority, because if there were a fight, and I'm not encouraging this at all, what do you think would happen if the right and the left actually clashed with guns and fights and fists? It wouldn't be close. Nobody wants that. But let's not twist it. The people on the right have a lot more common sense and a lot more restraint and a lot more power, and they don't use it.
On Monday, I told you guys, any USA merch you buy, 100% of the proceeds, not proceeds, not the profit, not the gross profits, whatever you buy, 100% will go to Turning Point USA. And within 24 hours, we sold $100,000 worth. So we're announcing today that we're sending $100,000 to Turning Point USA. We sent it to them yesterday. It was wired over to them yesterday. It should hit again either yesterday or today, but we're continuing again today. So anybody who didn't participate, just so you know, that $100,000 went because of you. You guys chose to do this, so respect to all of you. But we're doing it again, and we even added a couple new shirts there just in the memory of Charlie. This is one that says live free with the American flag. And if you zoom in on the American flag, you'll see Future Looks Bright on it right there. And then there's a ton of other items. Team USA, if you love America, if you love Charlie, if you want to find a way to collectively contribute to Turning Point USA, 100% of whatever you purchase here today, any one of these items you purchase on the USA collection, 100% of it will go to Turning Point USA, and we'll give that update again on what that looks like between now and Friday. So to everybody that did that, salute to you. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to...
Let's see. Text we're touching on. Let's see what they're bitching about here.
Vinny, as of right now, what's been shown is the text exchange between the shooter and his roommate, the transgender roommate that he has, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people are a little bit suspicious, saying, wait a minute, they're texting each other like this? Yes. Well, let me read it to you. Can you zoom in a little bit?
When I'm wrong, that was like his girlfriend, right?
Rob Robinson. This is I am still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I come home. But I got to grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson, I am. I'm sorry. Roommate, I thought they caught the person. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from the drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Roommate, why? Why did I do it? Yeah, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I'm able to grab my rifle unseen,
But that's the part that's crazy. If Buddy is 22 years old, you voted for one cycle, right? You've taken one L while voting, and this is what you resort to. That's not wild. One cycle of voting. He's 22. Got to be 18. He obviously voted for Kamala Harris, maybe, or whoever, or independent. Who knows, right? One cycle, not getting what you want, led to this. This is the emotional fragility that's just going on in the country, unfortunately. Like, this is crazy. So imagine the people that are 60. They've lost 5, 6, 8, whatever times, lost elections who they wanted to be president. You lost one, and you're willing to throw away your whole life and take the life of another. This is crazy. Crazy.
I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it. Roommate, how long have you been planning this? A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there's a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. Robinson, I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got back to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. IDEK, I don't know what that is.
I don't even know.
I don't even know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I change outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The effing messages are mostly a big meme. If I notice bulge you woo or on Fox News, I might have a stroke. All right, I'm going to have to leave it. That really effing sucks. Eric.
Bulge UWU, the reference to the trans community. So, Patrick, you just read through that. If it's...
The hell is bulge you mean?
Here's my theory on this. This looks like an admission of motive, admission, the steps...
Damn, this guy's taking a lot of fucking Botox, right?
It's a closed case. All I have to do is bring this up.
Interesting.
It's so well choreographed that the roommate doesn't play along.
That's crazy. That's the scary part. Because now, if I was a roommate, I'd be like, yo, you wrote me up into some shit. But people are thinking, did the roommate know?
Polls at one point, how long have you been planning this?
Weird.
Very, very weird question, right? It feels like this was a script.
It's like the ultimate alibi, right?
Yeah. They put it out there that nails it.
Who's they?
The cabal that I believe is behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Is it them or is it they or them?
And probably looking to to alter history by taking out kingpins of conservative thought.
Question for you, Eric. I'm looking at this, and I've learned the hard way. Don't just look at the exact thing. Don't be naive. There could be other extenuating circumstances. Are you saying, based on this conversation, that this conversation is not even real? It's fabricated.
It looks to me, honestly, like it's a perfectly choreographed script to nail Tyler Robinson to this crime, and only Tyler Robinson, not even the roommate.
Well, okay. I could see that because there's got to be text messages in between that they're not showing. That's the problem. You've got to stop cropping shit out. People now are too skeptical of everything. You can't crop shit out anymore. You need the full message and highlight the parts that you want people to highlight, that you want them to read. They got to stop cutting shit out. It's like the Epstein files. We scrubbed it, and this is what you should know. No, leave it all out and let people decide what should be scrubbed and what should, and what needs to be forgotten. But they're deciding for you. It's like daddy watching above, reading everything, and they're deciding what you should read. Like, no, let us get the full context, and then we'll decide.
Who is supposed to be a lover, and this is why Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. He couldn't stand the hatred that Charlie Kirk had for trans community, like his new boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever the hell he is, and not even implicate that person.
What are the chances? What are the chances? I'm not being naive. What are the chances? It was literally just this kid, Tyler Robinson, that's been radicalized, been upset. He's texting his love. He's gay, he's trans, whatever it is. And he genuinely just did it himself. He was a lone wolf.
Why didn't the lover
what are the
play
chances?
along? Honey, I'm saying,
what are the chances that it was just him?
It's for me, it's approaching zero. I mean, nothing's ever zero.
You know what I did? As soon as I saw this yesterday, as soon as it hit the air, I went and put in ChatGPT, and ChatGPT said, reading this, it feels more like something written than an actual text thread.
Stop it.
I swear.
See, but my thing is, you're fucking 55. The fuck you going to ChatGPT for, man? If you want your opinion to be that, you don't need ChatGPT to tell you yay or nay, right? Because if ChatGPT would have told him, like, no, this is real, he wouldn't have came on the air and say this. Like, make your own fucking opinion.
I'm reading it from ChatGPT right now. The pacing, the length, the sentences, the way he explains every single...
That's why, hopefully he's saying stop it, because now you need computers to justify your fucking points. The fuck? Be a man. Say what you
detail
think.
as if he's narrating a movie. It doesn't match how people text when they're panicking or hiding after a crime. Real text, hold on, let me finish. Real texts are usually short, sloppy, with abbreviations, not long monologues that sound like a script. So my gut, ChatGPT's gut, it doesn't read like a...
It literally had abbreviations that these data guys didn't understand. The IDK, whatever, IDEK. It literally had abbreviations y'all didn't understand. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying, man. You're damn near 60 years old, man. You can't be using ChatGPT to justify your opinion. Make your opinion and pull up facts, not ChatGPT.
An authentic back and forth. It reads more like a crafted effect. So that's that. But are you ready for this? It makes, and I trust me, they know me. I never believe anybody, but it makes far more sense to think that these texts weren't fabricated by the FBI or somebody, but that the shooter and his boyfriend had a script, they staged it, and then they exchanged it. You know why? You nailed it, Eric. To give the freaking lover boyfriend cover
and focus on Tyler.
Just take the rap.
Patrick,
take the rap.
Patrick,
unbelievable.
They added premeditation when the lover says, how long have you been planning this? Where did that come from? Is that a normal conversation between a guy who just blew away Charlie Kirk and his love?
How was that not a normal conversation? If someone assassinates someone and fucking texts you up, you're like, bro, what the fuck? How long have you been wanting to do this? Why didn't you say anything? Maybe I could stop you. What the fuck? How's that not a normal... First off, what does a normal conversation look like after someone texts you after they just fucking assassinated someone? Bruv.
How long have you been...
They
got motive, they got the actual pulling the trigger, the aim, the reason, and now they got premeditation too.
Rob, you put it up there, and what does it say to you?
I did. I asked ChatGPT, analyze the script from these text messages. Do they sound authentic? And then I uploaded the text themselves. It gives a pretty long-winded answer, but at the end, overall assessment, these messages do not strongly resemble authentic raw text exchanges.
It's not real.
They read more like a constructed script, possibly fabricated or heavily edited, than genuine, spontaneous communication.
Wow. So is this kid in custody, the trans boyfriend?
No.
What
They talked to the family. They spoke to him. They spoke to the family.
How's he not in custody right now?
They
questioned him.
He can't leave. You know, it's one of those.
You can't leave.
He won't. I mean.
So if what you're saying is true, if what ChatGPT is saying is true, that he's going to be tried for accomplice to murder?
No,
they're talking about death penalties. What they're talking about.
for Tyler.
I'm not talking about Tyler. I'm talking about
you gotta prove
the boyfriend.
Because this exchange.
It kind of seems weird. Maybe we should get the transgender's name. God damn, they're going in
court will play out like, hey,
this
my
is when he got the death penalty.
This is when they announced that they're
Watch his reaction.
Other business that we need to address today, counsel. Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file.
Wow.
Is this frozen? Is this just
that's him.
That's his actual reaction.
Yeah, you can see his
So
eyes
just
shift.
Yeah, but what's his reaction supposed to do? He's supposed to fucking cry? He knows he killed someone and there's a death penalty. You live in the fucking United States.
Frozen.
Down right here. His eyes shift down.
Go back again. Go back 10 seconds. Right there. That's good, Rob.
Just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what?
Pat, where are you at with this? Like, meaning, I was just looking at the text on its surface, like, oh wow, the trans boyfriend didn't know.
Yeah, right.
Now apparently there's some stuff going on. Where are you at with this? Eric said he's close to 0%. It was a lone wolf.
Guys, the last time there was this type of dramatic exposure that was going to happen was a guy named John F. Kennedy, with his father got his son in, and he was planning on having guys in the White House for 20 years. Joseph Kennedy had plans of this happening 40 years, 30 years before it happened. The day his first son was born, Joseph was supposed to be the first president. And he ended up dying at 22 years old in war as a pilot. I don't know what age he was when he died, but it's 22, 23, 24. Joseph Kennedy never became the same ever again after his oldest son died. But then what happens? The youngest son with lower back problems becomes president. Then they have this vengeance, this fire in their belly. Then the oldest becomes AG. The oldest becomes a tough guy. The establishment sits there and says these guys are able to change a lot of things for America, and they're beloved. There's so many memorials of John F. Kennedy around the world, not in America. There's more statues of him around the world than any other president, I believe, all over the world. He was loved by people around the world, John F. Kennedy was. And then you see that they were going to make some changes, and you bring it to today. Do I think this is accidental? Guys, when the president got elected, I gave a top 5 name of people that I believe were the ones that helped him get elected.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Kirk, I sent him a message. I told him, I said, listen, I don't know if you realize this. Without you, this doesn't happen. He says, well, I'm not doing it for recognition. I said, well, you need to take it because you played a massive role. And in everything, when something big happens, you played a massive role. He says, well, thank you for that. But to me, when you're asking what's going on here, I don't know. I don't know. I think there's I think this is a pattern. I don't think this is a accidental thing. I think it's a pattern, and this reminds me of the '60s. This reminds me of the '60s. In the Army, they say, watch your six. They say, stay alert, stay alive, right? I think right now it's a, by the way, in Florida, just became a license to carry. Open carry. Florida. Just, by the way, 2 days ago.
Yep.
Oh, I thought we had that.
You could just
2 days ago. You literally can go to the restaurant, put your gun down, and eat.
And is that what they have in Texas?
I think it might be open carry. Open carry.
It's a few states that have
wear like a holster
but
and
Florida, and by the way,
I'm trying to understand why you don't want to go to a Denny's and put your gun next to you on the table.
Rob just said something earlier. Rob said if this would have happened in Florida, he would have already been killed. Death sentence, because he says Florida's leading all states with, how many did you say, Rob? 30 plus?
They're going to have 30 by the end of the year. They're somewhere around 20-ish right now. But they have more deaths have been, or more inmates have been executed on death row this year in Florida than any other state in history of the United States of America.
Ron DeSantis for you.
Yeah.
Well, the biggest difference here, you're talking about the 60s, you're talking about JFK specifically, is
this is a revolution, buddy.
Right.
Something's going on in America. This is not a normal time we're living in. They try to control us for COVID, and they lost, but they lost on the public scale. Everybody handles loss in a different way. Some people can handle a loss. When they lost, and Obama, I'll never forget this. When Obama got on stage, and he gave his speech, and he tried to lecture those young black men. Remember that one time?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And then Stephen A. and other people are like, dude, you don't talk to us like that. We think we're dumb. Mm-hmm. And then he lost. Then imagine the Democratic Party is saying, who is our savior today? Who can go campaign for anybody and win? You mean to tell me Obama couldn't campaign for Kamala, a black woman, California? You couldn't help her win? Where are we now? Where do we go from here now? And then Obama has to sit there next to Trump. I think it was at Carter's funeral, if I'm not mistaken. And then they're laughing, they're talking to each other. Yeah, this was the moment. So Democrats, This has been I said November 5th will go down as Barack Obama's worst day of his lifetime. November 5th of 2024 is the worst day of Barack Obama's life. So now what do? You lost. Democrats lost. The establishment lost. You think they're going to play fair? I don't know.
No, and you know why? They're absolutely not. Hold on. We have just seen for the past 10 years, they're not going to play fair and square, Pat, because for 10 years, Eric, they've been like Nazi, fascist, Hitler, death, all this. And now, when the smoke is cleared and the dust is settled, they're like, oh shit, we don't have any leader. Gavin Newsom? Jasmine Crockett, because they have no voice. No, they have no message. So guess what? They use lawfare to go after their opponents. They wanted to destroy Trump, okay? They'll do the lawfare. They'll try to cancel your ass. And then guess what? They try to shoot you. Let's not forget, this same playbook happened with Trump. Some white lone guy, no freaking social media, gets shot. They shoot him because the real shooter missed. They clean up the scene. His apartment's cleaned up with white gloves. It's like, it's the same gameplay. You nailed it. It's the same playbook because they have nothing. They are the party of violence. They are the party. Remember a couple weeks ago I said the whole party's evil. It's not evil. But if the devil came back and he had to pick a party, which party would he pick? Would he be a Republican or would he be a Democrat? I'm being dead serious. Where's he going to go? Where's he going to leave? Oh, you guys are killing people? I'm going over here. Whoa. You guys are praying? Because us as Christians, we get mad. Pat, you know how furious I was with him in the back? My anger was going up like this, and then God, I went, okay, I'm understanding what's happening. I'm a Christian. I'm a God. Let me calm down. And even Pat was like, we're going to win. Okay, that's the difference. And you keep saying fascist, you keep saying this shit, and then this guy, Pat, this ABC guy, you want to know how gone? And when I say you're not supposed to like mainstream media, Eric, did you see this guy? Yeah. This guy, what's his name, Gutman?
Yeah, Matt Gutman.
Matt Gutman tried to take the situation, a freaking violent assassination, and he tried to make it a love story. You can't make this up. Rob, play this clip.
Seen an alleged murder with such specific text messages about the alleged murder weapon, where it was hidden, how it was placed, what was on it, but also it was very touching in a way that I think many of us didn't expect.
Touching.
A very intimate portrait into this relationship between the suspect's roommate and the suspect himself, with him repeatedly calling his roommate who was transitioning calling him my love, and I want to protect you, my love. So it was this duality of someone who the attorney said not only jeopardized the life of Charlie Kirk and the crowd, but was doing it in front of children, which is one of the aggravating circumstances of this case. And on the other hand, he was, speaking so lovingly about his partner. So very interesting.
You know what? Somebody should write he should write the Notebook, but call it The Assassin and make it a love story about murder and death. What a tone deaf. What the hell is wrong with mainstream media? You don't dislike them enough.
So I know him. I know Matt Gutman.
Great.
We used to be friends 20 years ago when, Adrian, he worked for CNN. They worked together. He's been with ABC. He's a real journalist. This guy's been in war zones. He's not some fly-by-night woke liberal. However, he's been in the mainstream media, ABC, that world, for 20 plus years. How do you think these mainstream journalists feel about Trump? Because at the end of the day, this comes down to Trump. Trump has broken so many people's minds. I watch The Daily Show. We've all heard of.
Did you just say this guy's a fair guy?
No, I didn't say that. I said he's a real journalist.
And a real journalist would read that and say that's a love story? What real journalist? By the way, your friendship with him has nothing to do with my friendship with him. What real journalist repeats what he just said?
If he would let me get to my point. I'm not agreeing with him. I'm trying to give you some mindset to where he's at. I think it's disgusting what he said. What I'm saying is this. TDS. We've heard of TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. It also stands for The Daily Show. I don't know how often you guys watch The Daily Show. These people are broken. They're broken. They're equivocating what's going on with Trump getting shot, with Charlie Kirk getting shot, and their only defense is, but those people in Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's all they have. So I'm not running cover for this guy whatsoever. I'm letting you know when you talk about drain the swamp. Trump's been trying to drain the swamp. What kind of swamp do you think the mindset of the media is? Eric knows this better than anybody.
I do. Honestly, Adam, I'm with Patrick on it. You called him a legitimate journalist. I mean,
you don't think he is?
No, not
Look
anymore.
At his career. So after this one comment, he's no longer.
After that comment,
look at his accolades. Look at his career.
After that comment, Adam, if you tell me he's completely unbiased about reporting what he sees, I'm going to tell you you're full of shit.
I'm not saying he's unbiased.
But he never said he was unbiased. All he did is say he was a journalist. These guys are getting triggered.
You said he's not a real journalist. He's a real journalist.
Okay, don't take my words for it. Look at his career. I don't know.
Not question. He has a storied career, but there's no chance when they go to him say, "What do you got?
What kind of career does he have?
What do you got?" He's a reporter in the field for 100 years.
I agree.
So when they go to him and say,
journalist.
Matt, what do you see? Would you think what he says right after that is completely unbiased? Knowing what you know,
I'm
that
saying that he is biased.
A love
That's my
story
whole
between
point,
a murderer,
that he's been
assassin.
in the news media for 20 years. What I'm saying is he can't help but being biased. I'm not defending him.
You are. You gave him. You donned him a respectable journalist.
Look at his damn credentials,
Doesn't
Eric.
make
What are
him
you talking
respectable.
about?
It makes him.
Can we scroll down?
It makes him a
This
long
guy's been
time
in war
journalist.
zones. This guy's been all over the world. He's covered how many different stories?
And is he
I'm not
covering
running
fairly? I don't know.
That's my
I don't know.
point.
Well,
That's
a
my
good
point.
journalist would, Adam. That's all I'm
Show
saying.
me a good journalist, Eric. Show me one.
Laura Logan.
Okay, who's that?
You don't know who Laura Logan is?
No. Show me another good journalist.
Why? I mean,
they're out.
They're out there.
But anyways,
Show me names.
But I'm not looking at one when I look at Matt Gutman, though.
This is indicative of what a normal journalist would even think.
Yeah,
it's a fact.
but by
I'm
the way,
exposing
let me,
how they all think.
Let me say this to you though, just to how many people have called it a love affair?
Not him.
Nobody.
One.
Only this guy.
ABC.
This is.
I'm sure there's more.
No.
I've been on.
There may be more.
Yeah,
but you're
on
saying
Discord.
on a guy like this to call it this, dude. You got a few screws missing to say something. What do you mean a love affair? It's just a great loving relationship. Stop it. Did he? By the way, we're not journalists. Did he take that exchange and put it on ChatGPT? What did he put it through? What is he? His job is to go do more research than us. We're freaking just regular people talking. We're not no journalists. We're citizen journalists. We're regular guys talking about it, right?
He was a commentator there.
He's a commentator. If you're a commentator, great, no problem. But you're not a guy that can call yourself a journalist if you just tell us that and say, this is a great love story. On Monday, I told you guys, any USA merch you buy, 100% of the proceeds, not proceeds, not the profit, not the gross profits, whatever you buy, 100% will go to Turning Point USA. And within 24 hours, we sold $100,000 worth. So we're announcing today that we're sending $100,000 to Turning Point USA. We sent it to them yesterday. It was wired over to them yesterday. It should hit again either yesterday or today, but we're continuing again today. So anybody who didn't participate, just so you know, that $100,000 went because of you. You guys chose to do this, so respect to all of you. But we're doing it again, and we even added a couple new shirts there just in the memory of Charlie. This is one that says live free with the American flag. And if you zoom in on the American flag, you'll see Future Looks Bright on it right there. And then there's a ton of other items. Team USA, if you love America, if you love Charlie, if you want to find a way to collectively contribute to Turning Point USA, 100% of whatever you purchase here today, any one of these items you purchase on the USA collection, 100% of it will go to Turning Point USA, and we'll give that update again on what that looks like between now and Friday. So to everybody that did that, salute to you. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.
I saw that. Oh, where's fresh?
Things that you just can't control, right? The place becomes a crime-ridden area. A bunch of black people move in. They fuck it up. It turns into the hood. It is what it is. You thought the Jews were going to move in. Blacks moved in. Cooked. Property value goes down. It is what it is.
So I had to keep it the whole time. So at one point...
You held on to it because you didn't want to sell it at a loss. But it goes down 50%. How would you feel about that?
I just feel like you can... I don't know. I don't want to say what I think, actually.
Okay, you're taking the analogy way too literally.
Yeah,
the point I'm trying to make is that why are men gonna bust their asses to become super successful, make this money, right, and invest into properties that they know are gonna depreciate and create headaches for them later, which is modern women. They don't want to obey them. They don't want to serve them. They don't want to be good wives. They want to go to the club and party. They still want to act like they're single, but they have a man. That's where we are as men nowadays in 2025, unfortunately. Girls are more interested in having a lit Instagram than having a lit relationship.
Yep.
Even down to late in if you want to know how close you are to what he's describing, think about when it is you want to have kids and when you want to get married. 20, 30, 50 years ago, you would have probably been saying 20, 18. Now a lot of you are thinking 28, 30. So you've already kind of got those seeds planted in you to delay family, delay being a wife. All the things that would make you attractive to men, you're pushing those things off because you want to have your fun and kind of get that run in. So this is the stuff of like the indoctrination is not just like there was a class of feminism. It's just all around you. You when you look at social media and you see all your girlfriends or homegirls traveling, purchasing stuff, going on all these trips, that requires time and resources. Most people aren't doing that at 16, 17, 18. They're going to college, they're coming out, and then they're seeing social media and it's like, I want to experience that. So what do you think's happening? You're now trying to experience those things as well, and all the while, the time that you were supposed to be focused on the things we're talking about, time's passing you by.
So, girls, do you agree, disagree?
I disagree.
Because
with the
I know
beginning.
you've been in therapy. I don't know if you want to share it or like if he's right or
Someone
he's
said
wrong.
they disagree. Who disagrees? Go ahead.
Only with the beginning portion of what you said.
Sure. What do you disagree with? What part?
About pushing back kids, because I feel like with inflation and everything that's going on, like even childcare costs, and I feel like when you're in a relationship with your man, like my husband is before my kids. It's like me and my husband against these kids. So it's like if he's being overworked and feels like he needs to make more money, because I think the average, every time you give birth to a baby, it's like the average cost to raise a child is like more than $100,000. I think it's like $300,000.
I think that was maybe on an earlier conversation.
So I think that.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So two things. Number one, the reason why the cost went so crazy is because who doubled the workforce and increased and stagnated the wages in the first place? Women did. Number two, women that talk about the cost of kids don't talk about the ability to adjust their life to what a man can afford in terms of a lifestyle.
Well, I'm saying as a couple, like, okay, like a
No, but that-
partnership, because that would be like a conversation that you would have with your man, like, hey, baby, when do you think is a good time for us to have children? Because if we do have kids right now, you're probably gonna have to pick up more hours at work, and then so it's just like a conversation. Most households, the man is not just working now; the woman has to work too to be able to afford a comfortable life.
And what I'm suggesting is, because you were born in this era, you presuppose that your income means something to. A fancy way of saying it.
Now let's see this DV. What is it? D4ND. Let's see what's going on with this one. That's kind of weird. D4VD. Let's see. D4. Oh my God, 179 million views. Oh my God. Oh my God, he is famous. Oh my God, he is famous.
So singer David is in some hot water. Previously, it was reported a dismembered body was found in the trunk of his car while he was on tour. Today, the dead body was identified as a 15-year-old who's been missing since she was 13. The girl and David have matching tattoos on their hand. The mom of the girl recalls hearing from her that her boyfriend's name is David, which just happens to be the name of David, spelled with a 4, his performance name. David is 20 years old.
In the back. That's so
David
deep.
is 20 years old. And the victim is 15 years old. Let's click on the link.
That's crazy, bro.
That is absolutely
He's
insane.
fucking cooked.
Is there a video?
Do any of y'all have y'all heard David's music?
I have
Do
not
any of
heard
y'all
his
listen
music.
to it?
No.
That one TikTok shit he got popping.
What is it? It's like like reggaeton. Like what does he make? Like what kind of music does he make?
Like some white boy type shit.
Oh, it's like that. I thought he was like on some Latin. I don't know why.
Bro, whenever shit I.
So she's been missing for 2 whole years, and they just found her dismembered in the back of his car. Oh.
So she died when she was 15, right? They're saying she died when she was 15.
Where
She
she
got
died?
a matching. They found her in the trunk
Tattoo.
of his car that was registered to David, and then she had a matching tattoo on. What was that, on her finger? They both had the same finger tattoo, I think.
Believe so. And the mom recalls that her boyfriend's name is David.
Yeah. So
I don't
he's
believe
cooked.
in coincidence.
So I heard some rumors that maybe he got her, you know what I'm saying, pregnant or something, and knew he was going to be in hot water if she wasn't trying to, you know what I'm saying, get rid of the pregnancy and possibly, you know what I'm saying. But I don't know. I don't know if that's
And his car was
corroborated.
impounded? His car was impounded?
Yeah, it was
For
impounded
sure.
right here in Hollywood.
No way.
That's for sure evidence. If it's a body found in there, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, they're gonna scrub that. But I mean, obviously his DNA is gonna be in it, and her DNA is gonna be in it. I feel like if they don't find other DNA,
Bro, either way it goes, she's been missing. That's a missing
Can
child.
Is he arrested yet?
Not yet.
I don't
How
think
is he
so.
not arrested?
Can we
Is he
look
on the run? Like,
wait,
wait,
can we look for a
hey,
news story?
they
Can we
on
look
their
for a
way,
news reporting of this? Is there any news reporting?
They on their way right now as we speak.
And he better just go turn himself in.
I'm running, bro.
Man.
He got
go
a bag.
try to
He might
leave
as
the
well
country.
run. He might as well run.
Let's keep it 100.
What?
He's not getting far.
Shit is
Yeah,
better
no
off
way.
trying.
Nah, the best
Listen,
shit to
you
do
know
is to
you
stay
cook.
put. The best shit to do is do what you've been doing.
Bruh, hell no. They coming
Nigga,
right
you
to every
know me,
address
hey,
that they
nigga,
think
get up
you
out of
at.
there.
They're gonna
Listen,
ping that cell phone.
don't listen to
That
my boy
Instagram,
Ricky.
everything.
Get
you
up
gotta
out of
stop
there.
every
You-
social
Can we play
media.
this, or will we get demonetized for this?
I think this was just announcing this. I think this was just the initial announcement that they found that body in the car.
See, let's see if academics said anything. That's kind of wild. Bruh. Bruh, a body found in his thing is crazy. Bruv.
Senior David has been identified as 15-year-old Celeste R. This has been missing from Lake Elsinore since April 2024. Her mother told TMZ that the police description, which included a tattoo of the victim's finger reading matched her daughter's. David is also
he can't
known-
even read. You literally can't read.
The David story just got a really grim update, and I'm here to share it with you all. But first, let me quickly catch you guys up to speed with everything that's happened thus far. On September 9th, an impounded Tesla belonging to David was found with a body in it. During this time, David was on his Withered World tour. Mind you, he also performed that night that all of this was discovered, and he was giving out Labubu's, which is crazy because how could he casually do that considering everything that's been revealed today? A spokesperson for David also told NBC see that he was fully cooperating with authorities. But honestly, how can you do that on tour? But to make a long story short, the entire situation was very confusing and people honestly didn't know what to believe. But I think we finally have the truth. So allow me to tell you guys everything that got revealed, everything that I've learned, everything I've dug up. But I'm gonna stop yambling. You already know I'm the hood Socrates, and let's talk about it. David paused his tour and canceled his Seattle show after the body of the victim was identified. It was Celeste Rivas Hernandez. And let me start by saying, rest in peace, baby girl. I know you was unfortunately taken from us early, but we're praying for you. I hope you're resting easy now. She was 13 when she went missing and was found over a year later. Here's her missing person report. And the way she was identified was by two things. Number one, with the help of her mom, who confirmed that Celeste had a boyfriend named David, and the fact Celeste had a matching tattoo on her finger with David, which is just so fucking weird. And there's so many more damning pieces of evidence that connect Celeste and David. That's just the start. People checked David's Discord and found extremely disturbing images, one with Celeste being in there, another with some of his Discord members saying that Celeste was David's girlfriend. But I personally think the worst one was from a year ago on August 2024. It was a person replying to David saying, drop a song on the missing girl, Celeste. But it's not just Discord. About a week ago, there were two people on Reddit making these claims. Let me read them for you. This guy is a weirdo. A close friend's little sister from the LE ran away last year, and this is who she was with. We think her sister was pimping her out. She was in 7th grade at the time. LAPD swooped this place in the hills. I'm terrified that's who was in the car. Nobody has heard from her in months. I won't release names as she's still a minor, but she was from Lake Elsinore. It isn't speculation. It literally happened. I don't really care if you've heard nice things about him. That has no impact on my personal negative experiences. Also, look at the -2 downvotes. Like, it just goes to show we have to stop worshiping these celebrities. We need to have a serious conversation how we can't be developing these parasocial relationships because, like me and you, they're people too, and they are capable of doing bad things. This guy is a from what I've heard. My sister, who is now in 9th grade, told me that he was dating an 8th grader, let's call her C, and she would go on trips with him to LA. They're all in 9th grade now, and it turns out C's friends knew and he would pay them to keep their mouth shut. C has been missing for over a month now, and no one knows her whereabouts. Definitely something strange going on. Now, the second one is immensely eerie because it refers to Celeste, who at the time was unnamed, as C, which I believe gives more credibility to the post. I think what's interesting is that when you look at the Reddit and the Discord and how these people seemingly have this information about David and Celeste, it comes across as more of an open secret rather than some new revelation, which makes my heart weep for Celeste even more. Here's where the situation gets even worse. The song Romantic Homicide was released on her birthday, September 7th, and on social media there's currently a new lens being placed over David's work as an artist. Even certain lyrics are being put into question, like this, which really eerie stuff. I can't say that enough. Also, there is proof of David on the phone with Celeste. These are FaceTime screenshots. And there's even this photo from 2023 before she went missing. And all this stuff does is just further show that he had contact with the victim. And I also did find alleged messages between an anonymous person and Celeste, and it confirms she and David engaged inappropriately. Celeste also confirms she had contact with a person named Gus. We don't know who he is as of yet, but based off of what she said, it seemed the interaction she had with him was even more horrifying than we can imagine. Some other stuff I found was people going through certain TikTok reposts David had and connecting it with Celeste. Although I'm unsure how true any of this is, so I'm not gonna talk about it. But the story once again gets crazy. Remember the Reddit post that I was talking about? He was paying off kids, allegedly. There was an Instagram account called Chandler, and he dropped some crazy shit. First by saying he had a friend that told him David owed someone in Lake Elsinore money. And being that Celeste is now deceased, it only seems even more disturbing when you put two and two together. He then followed up that story with another one providing context. This time he was saying that David gave people money because he was with a minor, paying them off. And then he proceeded to post a photo proof. This is allegedly the photo of him paying those kids off. And let's be honest, that is definitely David. I just don't know how you could say this isn't David. This is probably one of the most incriminating pieces of evidence I've seen. But it wasn't just Chandler. Another person on a different social media posted the photo as well, and they
paying the kids off that they took. They had his picture before the body. They had this picture of him. Yeah, but my thing is those kids that took money, they're not complicit.
claim that with the news being released, the kids from that area are sharing it, which is a callback to the Reddit post saying the same thing. And remember, those predated all of this information. But that's basically the entire update so far. Everything else is a little bit of speculation and going over old things David has said or tweeted. And honestly, we could be here all day if I went through every single one. So with that being said, stay safe. Please don't worship these celebrities. Please teach your younger siblings that these people can be just as bad as your average person who does not have.
Look at this. If you don't know who this is, it literally doesn't matter. But he is also the latest edition of a guy that went on no jumper and went to jail right after he left.
Wait a minute. I didn't know this. What? He got hit with a state RICO charge in Pennsylvania? Bro, I'm before the video even start, I'm convinced that these so-called street niggas
TMZ is reporting that the car is linked to the popular singer David. The LAPD towed the car from the yard after gathering evidence at the scene. They say the car was reported abandoned in the Hollywood Hills about 5 days ago.
Now I want to talk about this recent story that's gone viral involving David, written D4VD. If you're not familiar with the name, David is a young New York-born, Houston-raised singer who first blew up on TikTok a few years back. He dropped a song called Romantic Homicide, which became a viral sensation and eventually landed him a record deal. Since then, he's carved out a lane for himself, has his own wave going, and is a very successful young man. He's not exactly the biggest mainstream artist, and I'd consider him more on the obscure side of the mainstream, but he has a serious following and is obviously doing very well at the young age of 20 years old. Yesterday, some shocking news broke about him. According to reports, the LAPD found a body inside an impounded Tesla registered to David. So this story has gone beyond viral and it's got a lot of people confused about what's really going on. He's a young mainstream singer who's not known for being violent or, has any kind of like prior record or anything like that. And then now his name has been linked to a deceased body. I want to offer some good coverage to you guys on this particular story right here. And by the way, as you guys can see, my apologies for the setup. I'm currently in Berlin doing a little bit of traveling, enjoying myself. And I don't really have my equipment with me, but I do have to prioritize showing up for you no matter the circumstance. So rock out with me on this one, guys, okay? So here's what we know so far. Police say that the car was being held at a tow yard in Los Angeles, Hollywood, at around 12:30 p.m. on Monday. Around 12:30 p.m. on Monday, officers responded to calls about a foul odor coming from that vehicle. Apparently, a bunch of residents in the area had reported a very foul smell coming from a car, which was this car right here. And they didn't really think much of it until it was revealed what was really going inside the car. Now, someone eventually opened up the car and they discovered human remains inside a bag placed in front of the Tesla. It was then revealed that the car itself was registered to a David Burke, which turned out to be popular singer David himself. Now, law enforcement say the vehicle had been at the lot for a couple of days before this particular discovery. This case is already making headlines because of who the car belongs to. I'm sure you can understand why this story is so big on social media right now. Like we stated, David, as far as we know, is a young dude who's making music, stays in his own world, and honestly, I don't know too much about him as a person, but from the very little that I do know, he's just a regular dude who happened to get a hit song, he got signed, and he's been lit ever since, okay? And now people are wondering, did that boy David, catch a body? Is he on some Dexter Morgan, Bay Harbor Butcher type shit? If you know, living a double life. All jokes aside, there's some more info that did come in shortly after, and this is what that intel told us, okay? The LAPD confirmed that the body was found inside a bag in the front trunk of that Tesla, and it was already in a state of decomposition when police made the discovery. At first, nobody knew anything about who it might be, but now officials have revealed that the remains actually belong to a woman. She's been described as about 5'2", weighing just 71 pounds with wavy black hair. She was wearing a tube top, black leggings, a yellow bracelet, and metal stud earrings. And here's a detail that really sticks out. She apparently had a tattoo on her right index finger that literally said, shh. Right now, investigators haven't released her name, and it looks like she had been dead for some time. The coroner is gonna be key in figuring out exactly who she was and how she ended up dying. Police are obviously planning to talk to the registered owner of the car, which is David, and I think they've actually spoken to him already at the time of this video. But as of right now, he hasn't put out a statement, and his team hasn't responded to these reports as well. And just to add to the chaos, on Tuesday, police actually found another body inside a different car in South LA. Now, they're saying there's no evidence that the two cases are connected, but the timing of all this is pretty freaking insane. Now, David himself, right, he's actually still on tour. He was just performing in Minneapolis the other day, and at least on the surface, he's continuing to do his own thing. But aside from the shows and the music, we've actually started to see some real-world consequences hit him almost immediately. So a few days ago, David was literally front and center on the clothing brand Hollister's website, modeling their new collab with Crocs. We're talking hoodies, sweats, Crocs, the whole rollout. His face and name were all over the campaign and on the website. But the second the story about the Tesla broke, gone, okay? Hollister quickly pulled the plug, swapped him out with another model, and just like that, one of these very, I'm assuming, lucrative brand deals that he had just disappeared, right? According to TMZ, the LAPD were actually the ones who had to call David directly and tell him, yo, your Tesla is in impound with a dead body inside, and apparently he told them that he had no clue that any of this was happening. Right now, the reports are saying that he's fully cooperating with the police, which is a great sign, and despite everything, the show is still going on for David. Now, as for the car itself, okay, nobody knows if he loaned it out to somebody or if it might have been stolen. That part of the story is still up in the air. And really quickly, for my international viewers, really quickly, let me explain what I mean when I say that the car was impounded, okay? That just means that the police or the city had it towed away and stored in a secure lot called an impound yard. Cars end up there if they're abandoned, blocking traffic, or tied to an investigation. In this situation, reports say David's Tesla was left on a street in Hollywood, Los Angeles, and then it got towed to the yard, and a couple days later, workers noticed a foul odor, so like a smell coming from the car, right? They checked the car, opened the front trunk, and that's when they found the body. Now, back to the real-world consequences for David. Hollister, the clothing brand, had him front and center on their website just a few days ago. Now, Hollister have not put out a statement, but it doesn't take a genius to connect the dot, right? I mean, these mainstream brands are not in the business of taking risks, and if they're working with David, it's because he gives them access to that young TikTok-driven audience that they're trying to reach, and everything in that space is about quotas, image, and brand and connection, okay? Let's keep that in mind. But let's be clear, just because Hollister pulled him this has nothing to do with his guilt or his innocence, right? That's not how these companies operate, and pulling him from a campaign is strictly about optics, meaning how things actually look on the surface. And brands, they don't care about waiting for the truth, they care about protecting their image and keeping their audience comfortable, okay? Because that's how they survive. So the question right now, though, is what the hell is going on? Now, we want to make sure that we wait for the full story, okay? We simply don't know what we don't know. With that being said, we can always draw our own conclusions based on the information that we have available. So my personal opinion and perspective on this story is this. What I personally think happened here is that his car probably got broken into by somebody, or somebody somehow got access to it and they took it. They stole it. That's what I think. And then somehow they got mixed up in something, which unfortunately led to the young woman dying, and she got put in the trunk of that Tesla. To me, this really looks like one of those cases that doesn't actually have anything to do with David himself. And just so we're clear, I'm not speaking as someone who I don't know David. I just don't know this guy personally, anything like that, right?
Yeah, that'd be
I
weird.
can't vouch for his character, and I can't speak against it either.
There's always carjackings and shit in LA. So let's say, but the problem is that girl's too young to be driving the car. But I don't know. Let's say she's driving the car, she gets carjacked, right? They take the car with her in it. He's already been reported the car missing. They can't find the car. You know what I'm saying? It could be a story like that.
There.
Oh, it's weird, man. 13-year-olds that don't
I
drive.
literally only know 2 of his songs, and I've seen his face around in a few different places. That's about it. So I'm not here to paint him as an angel, and I'm not here to demonize him either. I'm just looking at the situation for what it is, laying out the facts, and giving you my perspective on what I think might have happened here. Now, how the car actually ended up impounded, that's another story. I could not really tell you the details of how that even happened. All we know is what's being reported so far, and that it was left on the street, and then it got towed, and then now we're finding out this news that there was a dead body, somebody died. But putting 2 and 2 together, Los Angeles is a shit show. Shout out to LA, but getting your car broken into over there, it's like, what do you say? It's guaranteed. It's like death and taxes guaranteed, okay? The YNs are running amok. People are on some other shit in LA, and that's personally what I think happened. As for the woman, rest in peace to her. I don't know exactly what happened to this poor woman, but the details we do have paint a really tragic picture. She only weighed 71 pounds. That's extremely underweight. Maybe she was homeless. Maybe she had, maybe she was dealing with struggles, addiction, whatever. Not speculating, but you never really know, right? Or maybe she was attacked by whoever put her in that trunk which to me sounds more believable, right? And honestly, it speaks to a bigger issue. Violence against women is still happening every single day, and it feels like it's only growing in society. That's a whole nother conversation on its own, but honestly, it's really heartbreaking to see that stories like this keep happening over and over to people in general, but especially women, because violence against women is like, it's growing in the world. If you guys don't know, right? You should know that. I'm wondering if she had any family who might have gotten in touch with law enforcement at this point. Whatever happens there, I'm generally like sending my condolences to the family. This is a horrible situation for any loved one to experience, and rest in peace to the young woman, right? I personally don't think David is involved in this particular homicide, and honestly, I just would hope that he's not, since it wouldn't really make any sense. I mean, the young man is doing extremely well. I don't see why he would be, because, you know, if he was like a street rapper, which he's not, he's a singer, my alarm bells will be going off, because y'all know street rappers are into the foolishness, okay? But that's not what we have here. In a situation like this, you just don't know what you don't know, and you simply gotta wait for the truth to come out. That's what you gotta do. It's the only right thing to do, and the only responsible thing for me to do, given the influence of my platform. And I urge all platforms who are reporting on a story to...
Let me see if Myron's back on here.
And it is reimagine.
Can't be fat, not married. There's not that many of those guys around in America.
In Miami.
That's making 80.
No. I'm around a lot of.
That's my.
Know the sex first. But okay. I know there's pitchforks going on. Listen, niggas, I walked in, right? Got the girls ready. You know, Jeff is in the house. Shout out to Jeff. He's a, you know, well-known therapist, and he has his own podcast going on. And apparently these niggas are sick. So I have two options for you niggas, all right? Either A, cancel the show, and all the ladies are gone, and you guys got no show, or you can have tequila or vodka. Chris, I don't know what the fuck I'm drinking right now. I have vodka, you know.
Now for future,
you know, just like dating tall guys. That's broke.
Damn! I'm sure they like that folk.
We came from the.
No, I don't know.
money. What that make
They're stuck in their ways.
to sleep with, and who gets to sleep with you?
By the 5th year of the relationship, I had already came to senses that me.
No. I mean, in terms of
yeah, baby, yeah, being OnlyFans. Oh.
That's white.
What country?
You.
She did not mention that shit. Second best.
I can't see her.
that was satisfied and wants you for who you are today, versus a man that would prefer you to after the procedure.
100% natural, but I feel like this is a self thing. It's for myself at the end of the day, and I'm very open and transparent about my life and cosmetic changes.
Yeah.
And you know, so.
Don't worry, carry on.
Yeah.
Personally, I respect it. Go ahead.
We have the fear in us. Hey, it's fine, man. Y'all carried this, man. So,
you didn't. That's why I'm here, nigga. Goddamn.
All right, nigga. Whatever. Fuck you, man.
Okay.
Oh, we here.
I'm listening. Go ahead. Continue on what you guys were talking about. I was listening into some of the discussion earlier. So,
cool.
Myron, nice to meet all of you.
So, boob job. We get it. I understand you said you're doing it for yourself.
All these girls have wonderful boobs so far. Besides this girl in a hoodie, I can just tell.
Wait,
I'm jealous.
Who has the best boobs?
I think my bestie Sammy.
No,
she's got me natural boobs.
Minus her though. Second best.
I can't see hers.
All right, whatever.
I need implants at the end of the day.
Right here or across from me.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
I don't know where you were going with that boob job, the boob comparison part.
What? They said which ones are
No,
better,
I know he asked it. I was confused at why he was.
I was just answering the question.
Understood. All right, so the other thing that I wanted to do was, I know that you all had some potential questions, right? Do y'all remember them?
I think they have
ones
them
that we wrote down?
Somewhere in a bucket or something like that?
All right, before we do that, let me just collect some information because I was going through trying to get all your guys' stuff. We'll start with, I'll go with this way and then work that way. What's your name, real quick?
Summer.
All right, how old are you, Summer?
I'm 21.
Where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey.
What part of New Jersey are you from?
South Jersey.
Okay. Do you live here in Miami or are you just visiting?
No, I live about 3 hours north. That's
there we go. Now it all makes sense.
No.
Now it all comes to the 1% for most guys.
I called you Latin earlier,
I feel like
so
that
come on,
only applies to.
Jasmine, that's a good one. So this is Brady cheating is a wild statement.
Congratulations, you have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University.
I know that international football is more than just sport. It's culture, it's political, it's soft power. In a way that a country represents itself on a global stage. The time has come to suspend Israel from that privilege. 4 days after Russia started the war in Ukraine, FIFA and UEFA suspended Russia.
True.
We are now 716 days into what Amnesty International have called a genocide. And yet Israel continue to be allowed to participate. Why the double standards? FIFA and UEFA must suspend Israel. Clubs everywhere must refuse to play Israeli teams. Current players everywhere must refuse to play against Israeli teams. We all remember apartheid in South Africa. The sporting boycott was critical in ending apartheid in South Africa. So we have power. You have power. And football fans around the world have power. Those teams represent you. It's time for everyone to get off the sidelines. Who will follow me? You? You will follow me? Do you think Israel must be suspended by FIFA and UEFA? You can say yes because you have power. FIFA and UEFA must suspend Israel? FIFA and UEFA must suspend Israel? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Yo, Aaron Cantanoa, legend. That's a good way to close it out, man. That's a good way to close it out. Whoa, hold on. No, don't do that.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free child place holidays available.
All right.
With 22 kilograms of baggage included.
All right. Anyone who tuned in, thank you. Tune in till the end, thank you very much, man. Anyone who's seeing this, like and subscribe. This has been Timiano Live, Timiano Relax. You'll drop a comment to help a brother out. Drop a like and subscribe on the channel. Appreciate y'all. You know, we building slow. Slow and steady wins the race. Let's go. All right. Deuces on y'all. Appreciate y'all. Bam.
Go. Told my mama, give me 1 second, I'm on roll. All around the globe, get that bag back tenfold. Make sure that my fam good, break bread with my bros. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. You know how that goes. You know how that. I'm here rolling with skate money. Yeah, I got perfect time. Everybody who hated on me, I kill them all with kind. Straight out that mud with it, diamond out that rough. Everything that came with it, went through it on hush. Been grinding for so long, I'm finally enjoying all my food. Everybody who told me I couldn't, look how I do it. All it took was dedication, got a lot to stay committed. Now every time I step out